This season on Sister Wives. This season on Sister Wives.
You know how long I've been waiting for this? Woo, I'm about to make a name for myself here. You just make sure people know what happened here today.
Oh, this is gonna be good.
Cause I've been living life right like I could just die any minute. Going for a ride down the side, PCH, country living. I don't need a guide, follow lights, take me where I wanna visit. Are you alive? Or just breathing?
What? Hey, everybody, what's going on? Welcome to the show. Go ahead, give me a 1 in the chat if you guys can hear me. You can see me. Everything is cool. Everything is copacetic. Hopefully, everything is good. I don't see any ones yet, so I'm a little nervous. All right, we get some ones. We got some ones. Got the ones, got the ones, got the ones. Okay. All right, yeah, tonight was pretty crazy. I tell you what, like, I appreciate TLC trying to drop this in and, you know, make the show interesting, trying to keep the show funky, fresh, keep it live and all that good stuff. But there is a few things that I got to recognize. One, when they do a lot of the things that they've been doing in season 19, this whole season thus far has basically been the Kody and Robin show. This has been the reconstruction arc. This has been the time where they're trying to redefine what actually happened on the show, what we've seen, what we haven't seen. So it's a little bit nerve-wracking just from that end. Hopefully everybody had a good time watching this show, if you were able to see the show, because of course TLC is still doing the foolishness where they're not, you know, I guess technically the show airs for everybody else on Monday, because on Sunday only 1% gets to see it. Ridiculousness. But I gotta tell you, like, the last scene of the show, because they spent the whole episode basically talking up Robin and Robin's entire you know, involvement with the family and how it's impacting the family. And then they spend the last, you know, 5 minutes of the show showing Robin sitting on the toilet. Brittany had a funny thing. Girl, get your ass up off the floor. She's sitting on the Robin is sitting on the floor in the bathroom, crying like a crazy person. The family's not together. Like, it's wow. Okay. It's one of those weird situations where, as much as I could feel bad for somebody who has lost their family, who is going through divorce, going through separation, her family is in tatters or shattered to pieces. I can feel sympathy for that situation. I am struggling, y'all, to feel sympathy for Robin in this particular situation, because when you do things or set things up in a certain way, and the thing that you set up, you spent your time setting up, it comes to fruition, it's very hard for me then to feel bad for you. And if that makes sense, like, if you go into school and you're not studying, right? You don't spend any time studying or looking at your work. And then you get to the end of the school year and you find out that you failed that class. I don't understand why I failed. I did everything I could. I wanted to pass so bad. I always wanted to be a graduate. I wanted to finish this class with honors. Like, it doesn't matter what you wanted. If you didn't do anything to make the thing happen, if you don't put any work into a thing, you can't be surprised when it doesn't work out. Maybe it's me. Maybe it's like I'm being all crazy about it, or whatever. But I just don't think that it makes sense that if Like, for instance, the whole thing about Meri coming to the house. Oh, Meri doesn't want to come over for Christmas. I wonder why. I wonder why Meri doesn't want to come over for Christmas. Oh, Meri doesn't want to come over for Christmas. Who the hell want to spend Christmas with their ex? Who wants to spend? That would be crazy to me. Especially like freshly broke up. I could understand like you guys have kids together, maybe co-parenting. A little while goes by, the separation is pretty much sealed. Maybe that person, both parties already have somebody else, or they're involved, or they're just cool with being by themselves, whatever the case may be. You're separated. You guys decide that you're going to do the holidays together. Okay. Still a little weird, but okay, I can see that. Actually, I have a cousin who who did that. Like he had a child with this one young lady, and he had been dating her for a while. Then when they broke up, they were excellent co-parents. They did a great job of co-parenting the child. Like, they were able to put their differences aside as far as the breakup. And when he married, he had kids with his wife, and his child from the previous relationship would always come over for the holidays. There wasn't a holiday where they didn't share holidays, and it got to a point where his ex would show up to the holiday, like, family dinners or holiday dinners, and would hang out, and everything was cool. She would talk with the wife, had a good relationship with the wife. I mean, it's a little weird, yeah. I maybe can count on one hand a number of families that I know that can do that. Is it possible? Yeah, it's possible. It requires a lot of maturity on behalf of the parents, a lot of maturity, a lot of development, a lot of depends. It also depends on how you broke up. Because if it was a lot of shady, like, low down stuff going on, the breakup was kind of rough. Yeah, they might not come for Christmas. They might not. Thanksgiving, you might be wearing a turkey as opposed to eating a turkey. So it really depends on that. I think there's a lot of factors that go into it. But is it possible? Sure. In Kody's situation, where he spends every opportunity talking about how much he doesn't like Meri, how he was uncomfortable with Meri, how Meri was a terrible person, how Meri made him feel uncomfortable, how he never loved her and never wanted to be with her, knowing full well that Meri is heartbroken over the situation. And I think that she's at a point now where she's not necessarily heartbroken over the fact that she can no longer be with Kody. She's kind of like it kind of struck me, and maybe you guys can tell me if I'm off base here, but she kind of reminds me of somebody who's a hoarder. Like she's an emotional hoarder. Like she has this relationship, is no good, is basically junk, but I'm gonna hold on to it because maybe I can fix it. One day I'm gonna fix that. But there's nothing that can be done with it. Like, it's completely broke. And you're better off going out getting a new one. Go get a new man. You're never going to fix this old one. Kody's broke. Okay? That relationship with him is broken. But she's holding on to the memory of the marriage, the sadness in the breakup. But if Kody could change and that Kody changing and the situation being different is right there with, he might as well ride in on a unicorn with a pot of gold that he found at the end of the rainbow. Likelihood of that happening. But if that were to happen, and maybe she would be open to taking him back and the relationship could work out. But I think she's lamenting the loss of that relationship. She's really feeling that loss. And with that being said, looking at how Kody is now, when he's so focused on Robin, that's only going to break her heart. Like, if you sitting there and you really digging somebody, you're feeling bad about losing this thing, you don't want to sit there and watch them hug up on somebody else, get booed up on somebody else. And then what makes it even crazier is that Kody will sit there and be mad at Meri because Robin doesn't feel comfortable getting booed up with him, and he wants to get booed up with Robin. So now he's pissed off at Meri because Meri is there making Robin feel uncomfortable about hugging him and kissing him and sitting on his lap and, doing the whole honeymoon experience. So it's weird that Robin is sitting there saying that about her friend. What was also weird, Meri had said that she called, we got to talk about that. Meri said she called the church and she was given the what was it called? It's not a separation. The division or whatever. What is it? What am I looking for, guys? You guys maybe can help me. The release. Thank you, reader. Yeah, so she was given a release. Yeah, it's hard for me to go through my notes. I'm taking notes and going crazy. But so she received her release, and Robin at the same time is saying, "Well, I'm hoping that we can still be friends." You know how you keep your friendship with Meri if you're really interested in keeping your friendship with Meri? I don't know. You pick up the phone and you call her. You stay in contact with her. That's how you would keep your friendship with Meri. It has nothing to do with Kody. It has nothing to do with whether she gets along with Kody, whether she's talking to Kody, whether she wants to come over your house for Christmas, because that's what makes you feel happy and comfortable. It's about you maintaining a relationship with Meri. And that goes back to what I was saying before. If you don't want to do the basic work with somebody who is willing to have a relationship with you, Meri wants to have a relationship with Robin and is willing to have that relationship with Robin. But Robin's not picking up the phone to call Meri and put into that relationship. She just wants the relationship result, but she doesn't want to do none of the relationship work. And that is where the big problem is. Let me see. Susan Magus. I'm with Megan. Okay. Susan Magnus, $10 super chat. Thanks for staying up and venting about this show. Yeah, right. I got to. I won't be able to sleep all night because it's crazy. Thank you for the super chat. Susan Magnus. That's a cool name. Magnus. That's awesome. Strong. Powerful. Let me give you a little something. A little something. Yeah. You're the first one in the shoot. So, all right, get my groove on. Thank you, Susan. Yeah, stand up for this foolishness. You're right about that. Because it's crazy. Like, I don't know. It's just wild watching people throw relationships away and then complaining about the relationships, not having the relationships anymore. So I don't know. Megan, what she said was, if I'm married, I'm not answering her call. I think most people are like that. Like your phone calls don't get returned at that point. You know what I mean? Especially if I feel like you keep, this is something that I think even with younger folks, that's important to talk about. Like, if people aren't good for you, don't return they phone calls. Stop hanging out with people or dealing with people who aren't pouring into your life, making your life better, or adding to the quality of your life. In this particular situation, is Robin adding to the quality of Meri's life? Is she making Meri feel better about herself? Is she doing anything other than serving her own needs? When she was sitting on that floor crying, the only thing that kept striking me and kept ringing to me was that Meri was crying for herself and crying for Robin. Robin was crying for herself. Everything she said was from a selfish place. As much as Kody keeps saying that, oh, Robin was the only one who was so giving, so wonderful. She made all kinds of sacrifices and did all this stuff to make the family wonderful. All I hear from Robin when she has an opportunity to speak for herself is how the world is impacting her, how things are affecting her, how she's dealing with these things. But I rarely hear her talk about how the family or how the situation is impacting anybody else. The only time she talks about anybody else and how something is affecting anybody else is when she's talking about her kids, and her kids are merely a reflection of justification of why she feels a certain kind of way. I feel so bad because my kids are going through XYZ. I feel so bad because my kids are suffering this way, that, and the other. But it's not that her kids are struggling. It's not that her kids are going through this thing. It's that she's struggling and she's using her kids as kind of a avatar to represent her feelings and how things are affecting her and things aren't going her way. So when she gets tired of saying me, my, how this is affecting me, what's going on with me, and how blah blah blah, she gets to swap herself out and put her kids into place. So you still feel bad for her because she's going through all these things, but now she just kind of switched out the names. So in a way, it's kind of like the pronoun use. So instead of me saying saying my name, James, I might say he, him. You know what I mean? So she's saying Robin, me, how it's affected me. Oh, kids. But she's basically talking about herself. Let's see, we got Storms in Life. Christ is there. That's true. $4.99. The Grim Reaper coming for Kody. Well, for those who didn't have an opportunity to see it yet, Kody used the excuse that, of course, the COVID thing, like the Grim Reaper was coming for me, y'all. I almost didn't make it. So, yeah, he's playing the whole. He's still playing up the whole like 1-9 rules thing about how this changed his whole life and his whole circumstance. Ironically, it didn't change his life enough to where he felt that these relationships are so important that he would actually miss them. That's the crazy part, is that it's like he suffered this great loss, but he didn't learn anything from it. Thank you so much for the $4.99 super chat. Storms in Life, Christ is there. Thank you so much. Trying to get messages. Check you out. Let me give you a little something. Hold on 1 second. I gotta fix mine. There you go. Thank you so much. Then we had two more. See, Tanya Johnson. What's up, Tanya? How you doing? $2 super chat. Robin isn't Meri's friend. She's Meri's leech. Yeah, she's right there to remind. Like I get the weird feeling that she uses Meri to remind her of how great she is. If that makes sense. Like she uses Meri as a way to say, like, how bad can my life be? Oh, Meri. You know what I mean? Like Meri's always there to remind Robin how wonderful her life actually is. So I 100% agree. Let me give you a little something. Thank you so much for that. Might have get my little dance on. Lizzie B with the $2 super chat. Lizzie B in the house. What's going on? I'd be stressed if she called. Don't want no drama. Yeah. Don't call my. You can leave that phone on the hook. Your phones don't get answered. And then again, it's hard. Like, because I want to talk a little bit about McKelty, because I think that's a great point, Lizzie. When I was listening to them talk about McKelty, because of course they did the first scene where Kody goes out to McKelty's house and he sees the kids for the first time, and they talk about how McKelty makes a way for them to be able to enjoy each other, enjoy the family, etc., all that craziness, right? It struck me that they'll see it as McKelty hangs out because she knows the truth. She sees both sides. She understands the situation. She knows that we're good people. And the thing that really strikes me with that is that there are people who, in order to be their friend, you have to put yourself aside and you have to overlook things. Like, in order for you to be their friend, you have to look past the stuff that they do. And so when they say something slick, you have to, okay, I'm not going to say nothing back. This relationship is important to me. Story time. I had a relationship like that. It's just the way it worked. Like I wanted to keep and maintain a relationship because I had a close relationship with someone through that relationship. So I wanted to maintain that relationship. So when the person would say something wild out of pocket, Okay. All right, Lord, keep me, keep me, let me hold fast, let me not say nothing crazy, and you just keep trying to do that. And the problem with doing that, and this is just real talk. The problem that I had with doing that is that after a while, you feel like you're being dishonest because you're being dishonest with yourself, you're being dishonest with this other person. You can't ever be yourself because if you're ever you, you're too big. You're too powerful for the fragility of this other person. Like they will snap in half. If you ever became who you are, you said something back, it would immediately break the relationship because they don't want to hear the truth. They don't want to hear what you have to say about them. They just want to be able to focus on you or say what they want to say to you, you know. And it gets to a point where you just the weird part about it, you just have to ask the question, what does winning look like? I've said that before. What does winning look like? If I keep this relationship going and I keep this happening and I keep, I don't keep not saying anything, is this good for me? Is this what I should do? And then a lot of times what I found is that it's just not worth it. And that's one of the things that Meri probably will have to ask herself. Let me give Lizzie B a little something, something. Does mine? Nope, it does not work. So I'm gonna have to go in the other way. Here we go. Lizzie B. Of course, we got Brittany, not Brittany in the house. Uh 499 super chat. I think Robin is jealous of her kids because the OG 13 want relationships with them and not with her. That's why she victimized them against the others. Oh, okay. Yeah, and you know what? Because we did have an opportunity where we were able to see Gabe on this particular episode. And as Gabe was talking about it, one of the things that Gabe mentioned is that he does want to have a relationship with Aurora. He said that Aurora was one of his favorite people when he was younger in like middle school. And when he got into high school, he was trying to hang out with Dayton more. And so he wants to have those relationships. But he even said that he understands that they have to kind of hold the line because understanding who the parents are, especially with Kody running around talking about loyalty and respect and disrespect and disloyal and all these things, which we'll get into in a moment. But as he was sitting around talking about all these things, understanding who the parents are and how sensitive they are and how butthurt they would be if Gabe was actually able to maintain a relationship with them, but he didn't have a relationship with Kody, or he didn't bend the knee to Robin, or he didn't bend bow and curtsy when Robin and Kody walked in the door because they're the Empress and Emperor couple of the Browns. If that didn't happen, then Gabe would not be able to have or maintain a relationship with the kids. And I don't think that Robin would be able to handle them having a relationship with the OG 13, the original 13 kids. That's 12 plus truly 13 kids. Or actually 13, 14. Is 14. Is that right? My math is wrong, is it? Because it's 6, 6, 12 plus Leon, that's 13. So I guess 14. OG 14. But no, that just doesn't feel right. But yeah, so they weren't able to do those things, right? And they can't have those relationships with them. And I think that Robin won't allow those relationships to happen because she wants to have some modicum of control over her kids. Because she doesn't want the kids not only to not have, she doesn't want the kids to have a relationship with the original kids, but she doesn't want to have them to have relationships or ties or go-throughs for the moms, the OG3. Because if they became friends with the kids, there's a possibility they might start running into Christine and Janelle and even Meri. And if they had time to spend with them without going through or being filtered by Robin, filtered through Robin, then they might actually start to develop relationships with the OG3. And, I guess maybe Robin's paranoia, I can see that where she might be a little nervous that if they did start having relationships with the OG3, they might actually take a step back and look at her and say, wow, she's kind of weird. This is a little odd. She's an odd bird. Mom Dukes may be wrong, in which case Robin wouldn't be able to take it. So let me give you a little something. Yeah, so crazy. Wait, hold on 1 second. Let me just. All right. Wait, hold on 1 second. Let me just go back. Okay. Sorry, I got one more. Audrey Bringinger, what's going on? 499 Super Chat. Thanks so much. Hi, James. Much love to all my fellow Milton survivors. Okay. TLC is pushing those filler episodes, so we have to watch all those darn commercials. And you, Robin. Yeah, right. I'm telling you, this is the Robin Kody. This is the Robin Kody show. They're pushing it hard. So we have all that going on. But let me give you a little something, Audrey. I'm glad to see you. Welcome. Audrey Bringinger in the house. Now, one of the things I did want to talk about was Kody talking about the whole idea of the patriarchy. Like he sat there and said, "Oh, I don't know why they talking about the patriarchy. I never said nothing about the patriarchy. We wasn't living that life. That's not how we was doing things, the patriarchy. I only said that because I was angry. I never said that. I never meant it." The funny thing is that, we live in a world where people might not call a thing, but that doesn't mean that it's not a thing. Okay. And what do I mean by that? What do you mean by that, James? Are you trying to be slick? No, what I'm saying is simply this. Kody is saying that it's not patriarchy, but he's still using terms like loyalty, respect, disrespect, disloyal, loyal, respect, disloyal, disrespect. To what? To what? To him. And as Janelle pointed out, that's a two-way street. That's a street that's best traveled both ways. So if you're going to respect somebody, like I don't, I say it all the time. Like I don't give loyalty to people who ain't loyal to me. I'm not gonna sit there and be loyal to you. I'm loyal to myself. I'm true to myself. So if, like, for instance, if I walk down the street and I see somebody I don't like, I might speak to them just because that's what I do. I'm a hello person. I'm a hello person. I used to get on my wife's nerves. She'd say, "You see people 3-4 times, you say hi to them," because that's what I do. I say hello. I acknowledge your presence. So if you come into my circle, you come into my situation, I acknowledge that you're there, right? That's me being loyal to myself. So I'm not going to change that about myself because that's who I am. I'm loyal to myself. And that's what I even say about that time when I felt like I was being disloyal to myself by curtailing myself to suit somebody else because I wanted to try to keep that relationship going. That's me being disloyal to myself. So I saw that as a form of being disloyal to myself. That's why that relationship is no more. But I'm not going to be loyal to other people who are not loyal to me. But Kody demands a sense of loyalty to him. He demands a sense of respect. Now, when he talks about loyalty and respect, it's in the frame of you doing what I tell you to do. If you don't do what I tell you to do, you don't follow instructions, you're being disloyal. You're being disrespectful. And in and of itself, even though he may not be using the term patriarchal, that's exactly what it is. So let's call a thing a thing. You are maybe the relationships. I don't believe that the relationship started from a place of patriarchy. I don't believe that he acted as though he was the family's patriarch. But with the addition of money, with the addition of resources, with the addition of Robin, he started to fall into the idea or the mindset of, I want to be able to have ultimate say. I want to be able to push the family the way I want it to be pushed and do the things I want to do because I want to benefit myself. So, from that respect, he started to follow patriarchy because patriarchy was a way that his needs could be met and he could be serviced. So, I think that's one of the things that he pushes out, that, oh, I'm going to do the patriarchy thing. I'm not doing patriarchy now. That's not what I meant. But you are doing patriarchy. It's just that it's really self-serving. Like, you want these relationships to serve your needs because you're acting selfishly and you're using patriarchy as a tool to do it. I also think that there's a big thing where he was listening to a lot of the red pill manosphere red pill / red pill community stuff on YouTube, especially during the pandemic, when you had nothing to do. But that's when a lot of that red pill stuff started taking off. People were trapped in the house watching a bunch of YouTube, and they were kind of getting, their brains cooked a little bit. And I think that that's where he was, and he heard a lot of things that, even using a lot of the terms and phrases that a lot of those groups use in some of his conversations, confessionals, that started to reveal what he was about and where he was. So, it is what it is. Let's see. Steam Frog 99, $2 super chat. Patriarchy because it sounds better than tyranny. Fair play. Fair play. Patriarchy because it sounds better than tyranny. Hey, I don't disagree. I told her what to do and she gonna do it because that's what I said. I mean, that's essentially what it is. Because, like, when he throws the terms around, like the loyalty and like I said, respect and all that, he's not. That's the patriarchy he's talking about. That's what the patriarchy that everybody else is referring to. Like, what I mean? Maybe we have a disagreement of terms, but it is what it is. Like, you're trying to have your needs met and screw everybody else. And you're just angry because when you say they're being disloyal, they're being disrespectful, and you're upset. You're upset because they're not doing what you want them to do at the time you want them to do it. So let me give you a little something. Thank you so much. Let me see. Okay, was this Fairy Godmother? You have to earn respect, you have to earn loyalty, you can't just demand it. This is true. In fact, my mom used to have a saying about respect and loyalty. And she said, even just talking about respect, she said, you can't command or you can't demand respect. You have to command respect. Just meaning that you have to put yourself in a position where you can be respected. You can't just go and be like, you will respect me. You have to put yourself in that position where people respect you. And usually it's based on experiences with you. So if you act in a respectful manner, then people tend to respect you. If you act in a disrespectful manner, people tend not to respect you. It's just, 1 + 1 is 2, math magician. Let's see. Oh yeah, let me, I am going to drop. Oh wait, before I drop the thing, I did want to do. Yeah, I wanted to have a little talk about this whole thing with Janelle, because Janelle in this episode, as much as this was like Robin feeling sorry for herself and Kody kind of doing the whole screw Janelle and Meri thing, Janelle was going off. Janelle is like, you could see the change in Janelle's approach to Kody in this relationship from season 17 for sure. Night and damn day, y'all, is completely different. Because if you remember in season 17, she was still in a position where she was trying to work stuff out. Season 17, yeah, Janelle was trying to work stuff out. She was still, trying to hold on to the relationship as it was. She thought she was doing the right thing. I thought I was supposed to be independent. Cody's like, no, you need to get on board. Screw Christine, stop hanging out with her. You need to just be committed to me and everything will be fine. you know, showing that fragility. But now she is a different mama Hama boy. Janelle is serious. Janelle is going in. She went in on Robin. She was talking about Robin. Janelle was talking about Kody. Janelle was talking to Gabe, had a meet with Gabe where they were sitting there talking and said that Gabe was saying that, he's a deep thinker and that well, Janelle said that he's a deep thinker, but Gabe was saying that Kody needs to change and take responsibility if they want to have a relationship. And he also noted that it seems as though Kody has a demand that his kids conform to the way that him and Robin see the world. In order for them to have a relationship with his kids, they have to start basically falling in line. And if they don't fall in line, he doesn't want to have anything to do with them. Now, I can understand and I can even respect somebody who says, look, I have a certain, certain parameters, certain red lines in my relationships that I maintain for everybody. I don't want certain types of people around me. I get that. But when it comes to your kids, you have to give them the opportunity to allow them to be themselves. They have to develop into the people that they're going to be. And they have to figure it out, as hard as it is as a parent. Trust me, shit is hard. As hard as it is as a parent, you have to step back and let them do things for themselves and to a point figure things out for themselves. And to a point, what I'm saying is you try to give them guidance, you try to give them counsel, you try to give them the benefit of your wisdom, but you can only offer it to them. You can't make them take it. You can't make them take your advice. You can offer them your advice, but you can't make them take it, right? And so if Kody wants to have a relationship with these kids, he has to accept them for who they are and not who he wants them to be, and not if they fit into a box that he finds acceptable to have around him and to have around Robin. There's a large sense of him protecting Robin and going out of his way to protect Robin because he sees her as fragile. To be honest with you, the way she was acting, the way she was crying in that bathroom, she is coming off kind of fragile. She's coming off kind of fragile. So I don't know if Cody's necessarily wrong for wanting to protect her because she doesn't sound like she could handle a whole lot. Like she doesn't sound like she have a grip on reality, Jack. The way she's crying about stuff, like crying about things that like it's gone. What are we doing? I don't understand why they're not coming around for the holidays. Because they broke up with the family. Like Christine left a year ago, almost 2 years ago. This the first holiday that we ain't gonna have nobody but our old family. Like your family's gonna be there, right? It's not like you sitting in the house by yourself. I'm sorry, it's not like you're like Meri, who's sitting in the house by herself and alone for the holidays. You're there with your kids and your husband, and you're crying like everybody is gone. If anybody deserves to cry, Meri deserves to cry because she doesn't have anybody. Okay, she has Leon and I forget who they're dating, or who they're with, but she has them. But it doesn't sound like they're around as much, especially on the holidays and stuff. Maybe they're going down to see Leon's partner's family. I don't know. But, if anything, if anybody deserves tears in this situation, deserves to be sitting on the floor crying, it'd be Meri. Meri should be in there in the bathroom weeping openly about the loss of the family and the loss of everything that she put together. She was in a relationship for 30 years. 30 years. Okay. Robin was in a relationship, had a relationship for 12 years. At that point, I think it was closer to I think it was no. Yeah, it'd have been about 12 years at that point. So I mean 30 years, 12 years. Like I said, beginning of the family, founder of the family, last one in. It's just crazy to me. So yeah, I gotta tell you guys, there was somebody, and if you're in here today, I will bring you up first. Just put it up on your just send me a message when I open up the lines. There was somebody who hit me up and said, James. I said yes. They said, James. I said yes. They said, James. I said yes. You are being too hard on Kody and Robin. You don't understand. Kody did everything he could. Is Audrey? Audrey what? Wait, hold on one second. Try to go back a little bit. Audrey? Oh, Audrey. Yes. Audrey. I didn't know if they changed their name. That's why I'm trying to holler it out. So Audrey's Leon's partner. Gotcha. Okay. All right. Fair play. Audrey. But yeah, somebody had said to me last week that I was being a little hard on Kody, a little hard on Robin, with their shenanigans and foolishness. I got a whole bunch of videos I got to do. I had some videos I wanted to release last week, didn't even have the chance. It was so much, especially with them on up that damn side of the mountain or in the parking lot, standing there talking in the driveway. There's so much I wanted to release. But somebody came out and said that I was a little rough on Kody, and I'm not being fair to Kody. I'm not being fair to Robin. I'm not being fair. So I want to be fair. And I'm open-minded. Look, if you think I'm making a mistake, you think I'm calling it wrong, I got it wrong, then by all means, I am opening up the floor. You have the full ability to call in and disagree with me. If you think that Kody is the good guy in this situation, because that's essentially what was said, is that Kody was the one who was committed to the family, and Robin was committed to him, and she sacrificed a lot, and Kody had made the COVID rules to keep Robin safe, because she has a lot of medical issues, and it was very selfish for the other family members to, go out and get on planes or travel or deal with other folks, especially and not follow the COVID rules, because it puts Robin and her family in jeopardy. So if you want to have that conversation, I am more than willing to have that conversation. We can have the conversation here. I know that I invited that person. If they're here now, or if there are other people here, you're more than willing, you're more than able to hit the link. You can come up. I invited that person up at the base of their comment. I also invited them to reach out to me at my email address. If they wanted to do something offline, we could have the conversation on do like a independent video where we talk or whatever. And if they don't like it, we can take it down, or I just won't post it. But we could do that if you want to have that conversation. I'm more than willing to have a conversation. And if you can, if you can demonstrate where I'm making an error or I'm making a mistake, then I'm willing to acknowledge my mistake. I'm gonna be honest with you. I will provide some pushback and I will bring receipts to support my positions on why I say what I say and why I believe what I believe, so we can have a full open discussion about it, and then we'll see what happens. And like I said, we don't have to have a debate or argument. It's just merely a conversation. So if you want to come up, you're more than welcome to come up. This is not a hostile environment, at least not mine. Okay, but let me get to Steamed Frog 99 for $5 super chat. Robin sets polygamous traditions on fire. Stamps out gifts exchange after invading the kids' chat. Also, Robin, where is everybody? Yeah, right. My kids don't feel safe. We're disconnected from this chat. I don't understand why everybody don't ever text nobody and chat with. Yeah, yeah. When you deal with situations like that, that shit is crazy. That's probably one of the most annoying. I'm gonna be honest with you. That is one of the most annoying things that you can be involved with. Is somebody who does that to you. Like 1 minute they tell you, shut the hell up, don't say nothing else. Do you hear me? Answer me. Like you said, don't say nothing else. What the this is insane. That's kind of where I'm at with Robin. She's I want this, I want this, I want this. And then she does the exact opposite to make that thing not happen. And then she cries about it not happen. I don't know. But yeah. Yeah, I had to give you a little thank you. But yeah, I'm gonna get ready to drop this link so we can get some folks up in the house if they want to come up. But before I do, Tanya Johnson with the $5 super chat. Robin doesn't feel safe in her mansion. Time to downsize, girl. Yeah, that's not gonna happen. That's another thing. Oh my goodness. Thank you for reminding me, Tanya Johnson. Thank you for the super chat. Let me give you a little something. Because well done. You just reminded me of something else. Yeah, thank you so much. You just reminded me of something else I wanted to say before I open this bad boy up. There was a point in here where Kody, and remember, this is 2022. When Kody went to meet the little kids, McKelty's twins, and we know this is around 2022 because these kids are babies. Like these are infant babies, like newborns. Okay. And Kody says to McKelty that he wants to move her into he wants to get a big house, and he should talk to Robin because they had been looking. And his hope is to buy a big house in Flagstaff so that McKelty and Tony and the kids can all move into the big house. And he's saying that they were looking at a new house just recently. So they had been looking to sell that house or buy another house in 2022, y'all. Like Kody being there telling on himself. Like this shit is dumb. Like if you are his lawyer, must be screaming in that office. I'm talking about standing on top of the chair, ready to flip the desk over screaming. Like every time you get ready to make an argument as to why this is not true or it's a misunderstanding or this is something that they just decided to do. All of a sudden, here come Kody or Robin making an admission on the screen. Y'all. What the shit? Like, if I was the lawyer, I'd be, what in the hell? Robin, last week, the house was Meri and Janelle's contribution to the house was justified because it was a family investment. Oh, what are you doing? That's not private property. If it's family investment, that means they have say in it. That means they have stakes in the house. What are you doing? I'm so glad. And people amaze me because, if it wasn't for stupidity, criminals would never get caught. Like, the prisons are full of dumb criminals. Like, criminals who just made dumb mistakes. Who just talking too much. Oh my goodness. What is this? Data Ray. But James, you don't know what it's like to be Kody because you have an IQ higher than a rock outside. Cut poor dumb Kody a break. And that's what I mean. Like, thank you, Beta Ray. Look, Data Ray, I'm just trying to say, look, I want to be fair. I want to be fair. So if I'm saying something that doesn't make sense, or you have information that I do not have, you have knowledge that I'm not privy to, I'm willing to have the conversation and be enlightened about something that I'm unaware of. But with the information presented to me and the way I'm seeing it, this is why I take the positions that I take as far as Kody, as far as Robin, as far as Janelle, Christine, Meri, so on and so forth. Do I think that everybody in this situation, the OG3, are completely blameless? No. Do I think that they've made mistakes? Absolutely, they've made mistakes. If you talk to them, I'm sure they would say that they've made mistakes, right? The one thing I will say about Christine, basically the OG3, because Christine and Janelle did a interview, and then tonight Meri reiterated, or at least echoed, some of the sentiments that were shared by Christine and Janelle on the interview, which was when they talked about the relationship and regret. They didn't say, I have these tremendous regrets that I was ever involved with Kody, that I ever had was part of this family, etc., etc. No. They took the exact opposite position, which is, I'm glad I was involved with this. I'm happy with the fact that I was involved with this family, even though it's over now and things ended the way they did. I recognize that I wouldn't be who I am today. I wouldn't be where I am today had I not gone through that crucible. Had I not gone through that, had that experience with Kody, especially in Christine's case, had she not had the experience with Kody, with the type of man that he is, I won't necessarily say a bad man, but because she had the experience with him that she had, when she encountered somebody who was different, she recognized that type of relationship, the type of relationship she had with Kody, is not the type of relationship that feeds her soul. She learned from her experience, so she was able to make a different choice with her next election. Janelle, looking at the situation, she recognized that she wouldn't have a relationship with Christine. She wouldn't have all her kids. And if she did have all her kids, had she not been involved with a polygamous relationship or a plural relationship, she wouldn't have the relationship she has with Christine's kids or the relationship she has with Christine. So she's thankful for her involvement. Meri, to her credit, she sees the person that she is today. She recognizes, I think, the growth and development that she's had since she started, where she was when she first met Kody to who she is today. And she's appreciative of the fact that she had the opportunity to develop into the person that she is today. And so when they talk about regret, they don't regret those relationships. Now, conversely, Kody is sitting in a place of regret, of wishing he didn't do this and wishing he didn't do that. And a point that I've made, even way back when I first saw that foolishness, he said, I wish I never married her, talking about Meri. If you never married Meri, you never would have married Janelle. You never would have married Christine. And ultimately, you never would have married Robin. It was rumored by Janelle, at least she threw out the possibility that Kody had been saying that he wished he had waited to marry Robin. He wished he never married any of the OG3, and he wished he just waited for Robin. The truth of the matter is, bruh, if you would have just waited for Robin and your ass would have showed up, pockets looking like rabbit ears, no wives in tow, no kids in tow, no show in tow, because you wouldn't have had a TV show had it not been for Christine. And more to the point, had you not had the polygamous lifestyle, which TLC was interested in at the time because of the show Big Love, had you not had the requirements or met those specifications, you never would have been on TV. And had you not been on TV, there's no way in hell Robin would have drove 5 hours down to see your single ass sitting in a church by yourself looking lonely. So that would have been out. So we just have to take things as where you are and move from where you are. You know, you can learn from where you might have certain feelings about where you were, spending time, some of the decisions you made in being with people, but you have to recognize the gift of experience that's provided and appreciate that and move on from there, you know. And so I give them a lot of I give them a lot of credit. What's this? Talk about Kody's lawyer. Ashley PG says his lawyer, "You're like a knife on my kidneys." Like a knife in my kidneys. All the sacrifices I made to represent you, wasted. So there's that. But let me get ready to drop this in the chat. So yeah, I'm going to open up the I gotta find my training. Oh, here it is. Yeah, one of my screens went down, but all right. So I'm going to fiddly sticks. Hold on one second. I gotta see if I can. All right. I almost messed that up, y'all. Let me see. All right. So I'm going to drop the link up in the chat. I'm going to pin it to the top. Whoops. Okay, I'm going to pin this bad boy. So it's at the top. All right. Let me see. One thing before we get started. Steam Frog 99, $2 super chat. Kody and cause and effect do not compute. Kody and cause and effect do not compute. Do not compute. Do not compute. What do you mean? Certain things had to happen in order for my life to turn out the way it did. That's not true. Okay, so we got some folks up. Neglet 3, hope you're ready. Let's see. Bring you up now. Hey, how you doing?
Hey, dear. You know what? I was waiting for your cat. I was waiting. Look, maybe I took notes this time. Okay. I wasn't gonna miss a thing. Oh my! And I'm gonna rattle them off. So stop me if it's something you want or whatever. But first of all, I'm sick of McKelty scenes. But I think that her and Gabe they're actually the only two children that were really shown this episode or really spoke this episode. But that baby not fist bumping Kody instead of, he was like, "Oh, come here, grandbaby." She was like, "Who is you?" I don't know.
Yeah.
That spoke volumes for his relationship. Even if she had seen him on FaceTime, it's kind of like, "Oh, okay, you know, I've seen you, I know you, now I can touch you." You know what I'm saying? It didn't compute with him. Again, you need to get a Danger Will Robinson little, you know what I mean, little something going on. But let me see. They did discuss wet nurses. Wet nurses are very common. Let me see. Christine deserves happiness. Blah blah blah. Meri. Oh, he said Meri was never loyal to him. Meri was never loyal to you, but she divorced you legally, which she didn't have to do for the sake of Robin's kids. You know what I mean? It was a selfless act that she did. She didn't have to. Gabe, I'm so proud of that young man. His mother's raised him right. He called it 100% when he said that Robin has a victim mentality. Let me see. We aren't talking about. There was a conversation And Kody was talking about his relationship with Gabe, and he was talking about, well, if Robin and Janelle would communicate, then maybe it would be better. And it's like, that has nothing to do with your relationship with your child, Gabe. Let me see. Kody reached out. Okay, Kody did reach out to Gabe, but that was to make him apologize. He said, well, you need to apologize and then I'll apologize. Gabe didn't do nothing wrong. Gabe was the child in the situation. Let me see. Okay, Robin, and I keep saying this, I have said this on every chat that I do, but Robin has never lived plural marriage. She keeps saying she wants it, but she never lived it. Even when she was a kid, yes, her dad had different houses to go to, but she never lived plural marriage. So she needs to quit lying about that. Kody's lawyer needs a defibrillator and an ambulance on call. Let me see. Let me see. Where is it? I think this is a monarchy, not a patriarchy, because you have to also show loyalty to his spouse. You have to honor the king and the queen. You can't just, you know what I mean? Even if they were to respect him, but maybe don't care for Robin. No, you have to respect both of us, or it's all or nothing. And then finally, I don't know if I said this already, but you have, okay, I'm still laughing. You said he's carrying a pot of gold on a unicorn. But you know what? I'm never gonna get that image out of my head, like with the blonde hair flying. You know what I mean? Just straight. That's Kody. You know what? I'm gonna make like I do graphic design and stuff like that.
Well, if you make one, send it to me.
I'm gonna send it to you. Yes, dear. All right, but you know what? And I gotta tell you, the reason why I actually tuned into you is because I have two neighbors that grew up, down the street from me, and one is Chris. Well, we call him Chris, but his name is James, and he has a brother named Jason who used to babysit me. You look just like Jason. And so if I ever call you Jason, please, it is out of love. It means I'm thinking about somebody that I really do. You know what I mean? I'm cool with it.
I appreciate it. I got you.
So, all right, dear. Well, anyway, I'm not gonna keep you, but yeah, I'm just this whole episode again. Stop with the. I can't cuss. Sorry. Stop with the McKelty scenes. I'm sick of McKelty. I don't mean it like that, but I'm sick of McKelty. I really am. And if McKelty and Gabe are the only two that really, I think they're really the only ones that even want to be around them.
Yeah. At this point, well, actually, the ironic part about McKelty and Tony,
they fell out because of Robin's treatment at the funeral, at Garrison's funeral, or there was something Robin did at Garrison's funeral, and so McKelty don't even want to have nothing to do with them no more. Right. So, yeah, and they're not being paid, so I don't know, but this whole show, I was stopping taking notes. I was trying to get it all in, but no, I appreciate it. And supposedly they are speeding up the timeline. It does seem like that they're doing that. They finally mentioned the release, which again happened like 4 years ago or 3 years ago, something like that. I just wish they'd speed it up to real time, and in that way it's more of a depiction of where they are, if they are anywhere. And you know what? And oh my God, I had paused it like a couple of times. I was watching it on Hulu or whatever. Anyway, I was watching it on my DVR or whatever. And oh my God, I was so glad I had paused it, because the 10 minutes of Robin sitting on her filthy bathroom floor with her nasty counter full of all kind of stuff. y'all just searching for filler, ain't y'all? Y'all just searching. That ain't even.
Well, I mean, it was the tears were killing me. Like she
cries every. You know what? I went back and I was like trying to rewatch from the beginning, to kind of see like every. I fast forward past half of the episodes because she's crying the whole daggone episode.
Yeah, yeah. She started crying, I think, around it was the second season.
She
Like
started crying in the first season. Oh, I'm so pleased that they'll accept us. Please, sir, may I have another cup of tea? You know, but she, again, I just want to emphasize the reason why I really don't care for her. She keeps lying and saying she wants the plural marriage. She never lived it. Even when she was a kid, her mother was kind of like her dad's mistress. That's the way their mothers were treated. So they were in separate houses. That's what she's used to. That is not what, from my understanding now. I got one husband. I love him. And he and I go, okay, we're going to go to something if he talking about bringing another, whatever. But that's not what they're like, that church, the brotherhood, whatever. That's not what their definition of plural marriage is. And so she's never lived it truly.
Right.
So that's where, like, when she keeps crying about, oh, I wanted sister wife so bad, and you never lived it. And even when you had them, you never lived it. There's no reason why they had to buy her a separate house. Remember when they were when she first joined them, she had a house around the corner.
Yeah, yeah.
What? That's like you got it. That's exactly the same house she grew up, like the house she grew up in.
Well, she had the ironic part was they were barely making their bills.
Yes.
As is in the big house, and they're renting her a house around the corner. So
that is why Christine is in trouble, because for several years, when she filed bankruptcy, it was revealed that for several years she received food stamps, but she was living in a house that had other children.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So, if you were getting food stamps, that means you didn't have enough money to support the kids you have. And now you're steady having more. I'm sorry, but in the ghetto, we call that living hood rich.
Right, right.
You feel me?
Right. No, I hear you. They live in fabulous. That's all it is. They live in ghetto fabulous.
Ghetto fabulous. Exactly. Here it's ghetto fabulous, but over there, I guess it's, I don't know. A way of life.
18 kids, you doing some you live in a different lifestyle anyway. Like,
look, my grandmother gave birth to 21. My father 21 with my grandfather. He had 9 extras. We won't discuss that. That was something I did want to discuss with you, but I don't know how much time you have or whatever. But like, my father grew up in a household like that with, to where there's so many kids, you don't have time to necessarily pay individual attention. He didn't really know who his mother was until he was 5. He thought my auntie was his mother because she was the one that was raising him. And, and then my mother grew up, she had 10 siblings. So there was a total of 11, and there was just my grandmother. And so, when you I'm not knocking, having large families. A lot of people, love it, enjoy it, and this, that, and the other. But you have to not only be able to financially support those children, but you have to be able to emotionally support those children. And like, when I'm making comments and things like that about the kids, I made a comment, you know what? Gabe was raised exceptionally well by his mothers, his 3 mothers, exceptionally well by them.
No, I mean, I agree with that. I just think that, like, for me, like, everybody has choices to make. And everybody has decisions to make. And how you do your family is how you do your family. But when I was putting my family together and I was deciding whether I want to have kids and how I wanted to do it, I wanted to make sure that when I had kids, I wasn't able to just provide for them financially, but I wanted to be around.
Emotionally, mentally, and be there for them. Not just, okay, I'm at the basketball game and I gotta leave in 10 minutes. And he sees my face, hi, and then bye. Not just that.
Skip out, right?
But you want to go to practice. You want to, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, like, I also wanted to experience, for me, I wanted to experience their development, their growth. So it was, I would like to say that it was completely for their benefit. I mean, but there is a selfish motivation in it too, because I wanted to see it. I wanted to be a part of it,
Right.
So, for him, I guess for some people, it's enough that they made a child and that child is out there somewhere, and that's enough. It just wasn't enough for me. So,
but see, what's not computing for not Real Robinson. What was the name of the robot? I can't remember the name of the robot.
Oh,
but
robot.
What's not? No, it was it was Lost in Space. It was a robot. Does not compute. Sorry, Will Robinson does not compute. Anyway, what is not computing for Krusty is the fact that it's fine, and I said this before. It's fine if you want to have XYZ children. Growing up, I'm an only child. So growing up, I only wanted one child because I thought I could only give love and attention and, you know what I mean, and support one child. Mm-hmm. And then, I have 3 and I'm able to, I don't know how I manage with the 3 that I have. You get what I'm saying? So what Kody's not understanding is that, like, you have to have individual time, like quality time, not just, oh, okay, well, I spent the night at your mom's house last night. Right. No, or I'm coming to stay the night. The carpets better be clean. And then when I get in the house, yell, because he did that one time when he came to Janelle's. Then he had come to Janelle's and he's sitting there yelling at the kids, and they're like, "We haven't seen you for like 7 days. Who are you?" Right. Kind of like McKelty's baby. So again, it goes back to it's kind of like and I know there's another like Islam, I believe, or in some cultures, you can have as many wives as you can support. Right. And it's not just financially. And if you're supporting that child on my food stamps money, then there's a problem. You're not supporting that child. If your wife has to declare bankruptcy and tell them that her only support was food stamps and gifts from friends, that's not supporting that child. I don't know. I may be wrong. It's called theft, but well,
I mean, there has to be some part of it that allows for family planning. Like, you have to, it's not enough to, like, I understand everybody wants to have kids and all that, but sure, you just want to be able to take care of them. And even with like some of the social programs, I have nothing against with people taking social programs. Absolutely. Or taking advantage of them. If you need them, use them, because that's what they're there for. Absolutely. But just beware that if that is your plan, if that's your plan, like, it doesn't matter how many kids I have, because I'm gonna have this available to me, recognize that at any point that can go away. So
and you could be held accountable for what you got. You know what? The happiest call I ever made in my life was when my son when I got pregnant with my son. I was living off of pizza, vodka, and beer. I was 24, grown, had my own car. You know what I mean? No bills. Look, I was kicking it. But right. But once I found out I was pregnant, of course I got off the vodka and beer. But a friend of mine was like, you need to go down and you need to sign up for food stamps. And I was like, no. She was like, hold on, you don't have right now. I didn't have a job because I was high risk. So she was like, and I was like, no, I'm not living off the system, whatever. She said, you've been working since you were 13. You're not living off the system. And so right. I signed up for food stamps. I promise you, on my son's first birthday, April 17th, 2004, on my son's very first birthday, the happiest call I ever made was to Ohio Department of Job and Family Services to tell them I had been working for the past, or I said, I got a job. I've been working for the past 2 weeks. You can go ahead and stop my benefits. Because we live in the state of Ohio, I don't know why, but she was like, well, you're good until you're certified until the end of your period. So I ended up getting 6 more months of that assistance, to kind of like to bridge the gap between, no work to work. And so you get what I'm saying? But right. I didn't take more than I needed. And yes, I was struggling, yes, I was, but the thing was, I also knew at that time I couldn't have more kids, even if I wanted to. I didn't even want, I shouldn't say that. But if I wanted to have more kids, I didn't mean it like that. If my son is listening, Lord Jesus, I wanted you. I love you. But not.
No, I got you.
But anyway, he's 21 now, so he kind of gets it. But yeah. So, but my point is, Kody knew he was accepting. He knew his children were living off food stamps.
Right. But I don't
And
think
he's driving this ratty old Mercedes. This 20-year-old Mercedes.
No, he had a Lexus.
Or what was it? Okay, I don't know. That ratty old Lexus with his half a head. He don't got no hair. I can't stand Krusty. You know what? Just for the record, if anybody in the chat sees, he's Krusty, and she's Robert. Okay, that's what I call them. That's exactly what they are. Because I don't respect them. I really, really don't. And even when I want to feel sorry for Robert, she does something. So sitting on your floor crying about how you missed out on an experience.
Too much. But let me I might have to bounce.
Bye, dear.
I gotta get to some folks. But
Bye,
thank you
James.
so
Have a
much for
blessing.
calling in.
Real quick, I hope and pray your friend in Florida, the other YouTuber. First of all, I hope she didn't steal nobody's CDs, and I pray she's okay and her family is safe. Okay.
Yeah, she checked in. She's good. Sarah's good.
Great. Thank you, dear. Have a blessed
All
one.
right, thanks. You too. Have a good one. All right. Next up, we have. Wait, before I do that, let me I'm right with you, Michelle. 1 second. I have to go back in because I've missed somebody and I don't want to miss anybody. Kathy Mosley with the $5 super chat. Janelle and Meri should transfer their share of Kody Pass to the Jessup family. Merry Christmas, Robin. Whoa. Merry Christmas. Yeah, right. Give it to David's family, her ex-husband's family. That would be crazy. Yeah, but all they'll do is sell it. Like they'll just sell it. Take the profit, that's just how they roll. But thank you so much, Kathy. I'm sorry it took me a little bit to get to you. I skipped over you by mistake. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, to the next up floor, we have Miss Michelle. Michelle,
hi, hello.
How are you?
Oh my love. Guess who I'm being? Ready? And I never got my castle, and I never got my pony. and the boy in 4th grade, he should have seen what I am and just give me everything I wanted. Life is so awful, it's unfair.
Yeah.
Cry me a river. And
so you didn't
the whole thing. Yeah, just my life. I can't decide which one of them is more self-involved than like the other. And it kind of reminded me about this guy down the pub when I was in my 20s, right? Honestly, I will get to the point. But all the girls there, they used to go, oh, Nathan, he's so amazing. He's gorgeous. Oh, I wish he'd give me his time. And then one night in the pub, there was about 3 of us in there. It was a very quiet night. And for no reason whatsoever, he sat down next to me. And he's like, so, I haven't noticed you in here before. And he's really trying to charm me. And I'm thinking to myself, please don't. Please don't. And then after a little while, he says, so, where are you going after here? And I'm like, I'm going home alone by myself without anybody else. Right. And he's like, he was so angry that, and I said, I'm not being funny or anything. I said, but I really do take offense to being invited back to somebody's cave.
Right.
You are a caveman. And as we're walking out the pub that night, everyone's being thrown out. He's moaning to the bartender, and the bartender come out afterwards and he said, you really upset him. What did you say? And I just went, no. The answer is no. And he's upset because a 20-year-old, overweight, gappy-toothed woman had the audacity to turn down this Adonis. That is what that is. I think I've established where Kody's coming from. and I think it is, he cannot understand why intelligent and beautiful women wouldn't be put in a field out to pasture for the rest of their life, because they should want to just hang around and bask in his glow and he likes me today, he likes me, he said hello to me, did you see that, girls? He said hello to me. Get over yourself, Cody. I say it every time, get over yourself. It might require a ladder and a helicopter, but get over yourself. These women, they've got more to offer this world in a heartbeat than any of your efforts to date.
Right.
The only good thing about you is the children that you made
Mm-hmm.
and the ones you adopted, I'm hoping, in time. You know, just get over yourself, and that is all I've got to say. I know, waffling on, but it just, seriously, whatever made him think he was that special, that these people should put their lives on hold and sit there quietly desiccating in the corner? Just, you're not that special.
Right. Well, because I think that that's one of the things that, because I've said that too. Like, I think that that's one of the things that bothered him more than anything else, is the fact that it's not just the fact that they left, but the fact that they left him. You
Yeah,
know, because he had left them years prior to them actually deciding to go. So he had, you know what I mean? The fact that you can go over a one wife's house and you tell her you just stop going around Meri, stop going around, you basically abandon her. With Christine, you go over there and tell her, essentially, we're just going to be friends, and I'm going to just come here and crash out at your house when I'm not with my wife. So you had to
yeah,
keep yourself like, so, and then when they say, okay, well, you know what? I value myself more than allowing you to come here and just use me for that one thing. So I value myself enough to say that this isn't a relationship I want to be a part of. That's where he loses his mind. I can't, but I'm losing my mind. Like, yeah,
yeah.
you know, because
That's
like,
assuming you had a mind to start with, which would have been a better position than you're in. I mean, there was this poem, I don't know it, so I'm not going to sit here and spout it off, but it starts, oh Lord, it's hard to be humble when you're so good looking in every way.
right,
And my six-pack abs, and she thinks I'm hot. I've got great six-pack abs. You've also got dodgy eyesight, pal. If that is what you think, you ain't well. You know, you're not well. Anyway, have a lovely rest of your day, and hope everyone in the chat has a really, really lovely week. Take care,
right.
darling.
Thank you. You have a great night. Thanks for calling in.
No worries.
All
Bye.
right, see you later. Love this story, by the by. Have a good night. All right. Got Michelle in the house. So guys, I gotta tell you, there's one thing that I did want to mention before I go to the next caller. I did want to give a big shout out to Gabe, because he showed a great deal of maturity. And that was something I did want to mention from the top, but I had kind of got lost in the sauce with the other outrages. But one of the big shout outs that I wanted to give to Gabe was that he's actually showing a great deal of maturity by recognizing that he needs help. And one of the things that a lot of, especially young men, they kind of struggle with is recognizing that they have to stay on top of their mental health. Like, we're big on going to the gym and staying on top of our physical health, but the mental health a lot of times goes neglected because we refuse to recognize that, hey, we might need to talk to somebody, or we might be in a situation where we need to talk to somebody. In tonight's episode, Gabe did mention that he's actually taking advantage of some of the resources at school, at the college that he's at, and he's actually talking to somebody about some of the things that he's going through with his father, the loss of his parents, and then, even now looking back on what happened with Big G's, Garrison, hopefully he's talking to somebody about that, because if he's taking advantage of it way back in 2022 with the loss of his father, I'm sure that he's still practicing those good habits of going out and seeking help as he's dealing with the loss of his brother. So I can't say how impressed I was with that. I thought that that was a fantastic message. You know, sometimes TLC is a little spotty with some of the messaging that they have around, like how to deal with relationships. Hands down, no problem. We can say that for sure. But this is one of the silver lining effects that I thought Gabriel really showed, and a lot of maturity in recognizing that he needed help. But I'm going to turn it over to Betty, bringing her up. So hopefully you're ready. Here we go. Betty, what's going on?
Well, hey, sweetie.
How are
Love
you?
your show.
Thank you.
Even my husband, who does not like reality TV, loves your show.
Oh, thanks.
We've been
Thank you.
married 40 years. You're the only one he listens to. Well, 40 years in May.
There you go. Well, congratulations. 40
Well,
years is a
thank you,
long
darling.
time to be together with two people. You know what I mean?
Oh, I
That's
can't imagine.
amazing.
We've been through ups, down, highs, lows.
Right?
Well, the one thing I would say, this is the most heartbreaking episode I have ever seen. Oh my God, I cried. And I don't usually cry on TV. Well, unless
Right.
it's doggy stuff, then I cry for dogs. But for Gabe to go to counseling shows so much maturity for
Right.
such a young child. And he is a child.
Right. Right.
I mean, like, even if you're 21, he's a child.
Yeah. No,
My
absolutely.
oldest is 38. My youngest is 28. And I have four kids.
Oh,
But,
okay.
yeah, those are my babies. And thinking about the hurricanes that came through, I mean, like, he lost a child when we went through Hurricane Katrina. For 12 hours, I didn't know if my husband was dead or alive.
Wow. Wow.
I heard one morning at 10 a.m., I'm out, boats breaking away.
Wow.
And I was in Biloxi because they took a direct hit. And I didn't hear till midnight whether or not he was alive or dead. And my oldest, who at the time was maybe 16, was doing skits and making me laugh because I had a migraine. We had no power. I mean, like, I just think about Sarah during that time. Oh, Lord. That's why I was like, oh, I would never want to go through a hurricane again. We
Yeah,
will
it's
never live
terrifying.
near the coast. We're in West Virginia now.
Oh, okay.
Close to
Okay.
you. And my son's close to you. He even likes your show, and he doesn't
Awesome.
like anything.
I'm glad he liked me.
He does,
That's awesome.
actually. I mean, like, it's amazing because my oldest is, like, into all the tech stuff. So anything you have to do with tech stuff, he could do.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
that's his job. He dials into people across the country, like, even in Japan, all that stuff.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, my brother's actually in the IT field as well. Smart,
Oh, that's
smart guy.
amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you have
yeah.
to have a good head on your shoulders to do that. Like
Yeah, he tries to
it's
explain
great.
it to me, but it's a
Right,
gun above my
yeah.
head.
I tell you
know.
what though, you know what I go through. So anytime I have any issues with my computer, that's the first call I got, you know.
Well, yeah, he gave me his old computer, and he set it up so he can dial into my computer.
Right,
From his,
right.
he lives in Philly,
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, he's not that far
so
from me
he's
then.
close to you, I think.
Yeah, yeah. Oh
So,
wow, okay.
so yeah. Did you see Janelle is which would be awesome if you could do it? She's going to be in Philly, I think, Butler, PA,
Oh really?
doing like the run for like the for the children. So I think that's coming up end of October. So it's like 3.5 hours from where I'm at.
Wow. Okay, I did not know that. I'll make a
Yeah,
note.
she had done a press release where she's going to be in like right outside of Butler, PA, where she's going to be doing it, and she's going to do this whole run. It's like I don't run. I might walk or I might crawl,
Right.
but I
Yeah.
smoke. That's why my camera goes in and out because I don't want to promote smoking.
Nah, I can appreciate it.
So
But I
if you
tell
see
you
my
what,
camera
though.
go out, that means I lit a cigarette. And I'm not trying to put that out there for anybody, but you know, hey, I'm old.
Right.
I do what I do.
It is what it is, right? But I give
Exactly.
Janelle a lot of credit with that though, with the because she's been on top of the with her fitness journey, her entire fitness journey.
Yes.
She's been a very strong role model for a lot of that, you know.
Oh yeah. But she's going to be there, and I think that's like 3.5 hours from me. And since you're in New York, if I'm correct.
No, actually, I'm right outside of Philadelphia.
Oh, you're really close in. So you
Yeah.
would be probably 4.5 hours.
Right. Right.
to where she's actually going to do this.
Oh,
And she's
okay.
going to promote that. And I think it's the end of October.
Okay.
Yeah, you need to check it out. That would be awesome if you could actually go there and have an interview with her, because you know she sees you.
Yeah, right.
You know she does.
Yeah, I might make her run faster. She might actually finish.
Girl,
Say,
I
oh
ain't
no, we
gonna run.
don't.
If I say girl, it is not. That's just the way I talk from old Mississippi. Because I'm originally from Mississippi.
Oh, okay.
So,
What part?
I grew up in Memphis, South Haven area.
Oh, wow.
So
Okay.
really Memphis, the hood. That's why I got tickled when she talked about the hood thing. I'm like, oh no, we call them thousandaires when you get your tax check. That's called a thousandaire.
Thousandaire.
Thousandaire, you quit your job and you have like them thousands, and they only last about 3 months, and then you back there going back to McDonald's and flipping them burgers because your thousandaire done run out.
You hit the skids hard,
Oh yeah, you know how that is.
Right.
But and then I was watching. I don't know. I'm sure you caught the thing with Janelle and Christine when they were doing their press release. They're really just too kind.
Yes. Yeah.
Truthfully, they're too kind.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure some of that is like being professional. I mean, like, you don't want to go off and really say what you think and feel. So
yeah. I mean, they did
but
have
at least
some,
it's professional.
right. They did have some strong things that
Some
they said
decorum.
about Kody, though. They did, because they said that he didn't have any relationships with the kids currently. And this is a new
And that's so sad.
thing. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. Especially with what he went through. Like actually I have a video that I have to do. Somebody sent me an exclusive video of like Kody doing a cameo talking about loss, familial loss. And I just wanted to give a backdrop of that. So, or give my commentary on it. So that video will be coming out. But I'm going to pull from that that interview with Janelle and Christine, as well as the interview that he did with People Magazine, where he was talking about how he missed Gabriel how he missed Garrison and all that. So I'll be doing that. But I don't really like dragging it too much.
That interview like broke my heart because I have 4 children, my oldest to the youngest, and as a family, we've gone through actually, Lord forgive me, a murder where we lost a whole family, like 2 children, 2 adults, and every year, it's so hard. We can't even mention their names, the pictures. It's been 30 years. We don't have pictures up.
Right.
So to lose that child and you still you didn't reach out and you didn't make that connection. To me, it's almost inhumane. Like, how self-centered can you possibly be that you cannot feel that depth of hurt? And like I said, I have 4 kids. And if any of them felt they needed counseling over something I had done to them, something may I have said and didn't even realize I had done, I would be like, I want to go with you, because I would be so devastated that my child would feel the need that they couldn't talk to me. We have FaceTime. I mean, I just got off FaceTime with my youngest, who showed me his new apartment. We were going around and he was showing me literally everything in his apartment, and he's 28, but he's still my baby. But I mean, just seeing everything, and he's so excited to show me his new apartment and his cat and this and that. Like, that,
well,
like,
well, because that's actually one of the things that really struck me too. Because I don't want to be Mr. Debbie Downer, but like there was a point where Garrison had just purchased his house, and the reality of it is that there's a part of every child, especially when they're close to their parents. I know I experienced it. I'm gonna speak more from me. I'll speak for myself. When I was a young man, if there was a time where like I get my first good job or whatever, and I could do something for my parents, and I could write a check, or I could hand them some money, do something, whatever. For them, it wasn't a big deal. But for me, it was huge, you know, because you wanted the pride in you being able to show your parent, like, you know, I'm doing this. And it's a weird thing that you want your parents, you're always seeking that approval. You want your parents to feel proud of you, like you're doing something. You get your first place. Like I was very excited when I get my first place, move into it and show my parents the house, or, you know, I buy a house and show my parents the house. That's a big thing. And then for Garrison in his situation, he bought as a young man by himself, single, to buy a house and not be able to say, "Hey, Dad, come over and check out my place," and to have your dad come over and be proud of you because you did this big thing. To buy a house, you know, at any stage of your life is a big deal. That's a big deal. And for him not to be able to share that with his dad because his dad couldn't get out of his own way, for me was hard to watch. Like that, and this is before everything happened this year, this summer. Even before that was hard for me to watch because I know how, if I was in Garrison's situation, how important that milestone would have been for me. You know what I mean? And for him to miss that opportunity, and even listening to Kody talk about it, like, bro, you don't know how much you can't see past yourself to realize like how much of the world you're actually missing because you can only focus on yourself. You're a man who's staring in a mirror and can't see past that mirror at the big wild world, the wondrous world around you. And so you're missing out on all kinds of things because you can't get out of your own way, you know. And it's sad to watch. It's very sad.
Oh, it's heartbreaking to watch. I mean, we just 2 weeks ago went, and my husband is like on a walker, walker because he has a foot problem and we're trying to avoid amputation. But my oldest, even though he went to the justice of the peace, it was so important to him that his father actually performed the ceremony. Like, it was finally where we could get together with my daughter-in-law's family, his family, and we drove to Philadelphia. And it's thrown us back a month, but the memory is so worth all the hardship we're going to have to go through for the next 2 months to make sure we save his foot. But I mean, like my husband, we drove. We ended up instead of taking the Pike, somehow we ended up in Maryland. I don't even know how the hell.
Wow.
Oh, Lord, forgive me for my language.
No, it's okay.
But somehow we ended up getting off the Pike and ended up going all the way through Maryland to get to Philadelphia. I don't even know how we did it, but
right.
It was so worth it. And like, you know, but I don't even tell my son. It's like, you know, I'm not going to tell him. But by the time we came back, like, you know, we had to go to the doctor, and my husband and the doctor's like, you know, you really need to get off this or you could be looking at losing half your foot. And it's like, you know what? And my husband looked at me and said, you know what? I don't even care. It's like, you can take the whole foot. But that is a memory for my son and my husband who performed the ceremony that you can't replace.
Right.
Like, no matter what.
Right.
Like, you just can't. So we drove, my other son flew in. So we were all there, and it was so amazing. Like, just the ceremony. Of course, I mean, like, his wife is Asian. So it was so cool. I know I'm getting off track. I'm sorry.
No,
I can talk about it. I'm Southern. But we did her ceremony, which was the tea ceremony, which is they served us tea.
Right.
And they give us a blessing. We give them a blessing. So we went through that with like immediate family. And then we went to the normal, which is what we do. And my husband officiated the whole wedding ceremony. And he's done it with my youngest son and now this son. And now we're going to do it with my daughter. When my daughter gets married, he's going to perform the ceremony. So myself and her 3 brothers are actually going to walk her down the aisle rather than her father, because her father's going to perform the ceremony. So we're going to gather around, and like her oldest will start. We're going to go youngest to oldest. So youngest brother will walk her halfway. Then her middle brother will walk her the rest. And then her oldest will walk her to me. And then I'll walk her to her father.
Wow.
So
it's
different,
right.
but you know, hey, it is what it is.
Look, I mean, as long as you're crafting memories with your family, It doesn't matter what it looks like, you
Oh
know,
yeah.
because that's something that, you know, and the weird part is that, and I've said this several times before, but the weird part is that especially when you're dealing with your kids, there's always an expectation that you're going to be the one to go first. So you're willing to, there's an acceptable loss for you to take time because you don't plan on going anywhere. So you feel like you have all the time in the world. But as we've discovered, even in this situation with Kody's situation, he's still here, but his son isn't. And so you never know. Like, the life is a funny thing. It could be a wondrous thing. It could be extremely cruel at times. So you have to take every opportunity you can get to make those memories and to seize those opportunities, because they're not promised to you later on in life, you know. So
No, they're really not.
whatever you can do, you do it.
Oh
you
yeah,
know?
but the memories, if you can create them,
Right.
even for one little moment, can change somebody's life. Like,
Right.
you know, Thanksgiving. I mean, I live in Wheeling on an island, and I have a lot of young ones that are not accepted by others. And Thanksgiving, I usually do all out, and that's my big holiday. And so I try to make it memorable for them. I do 3 turkeys, 2 hams, and do like the whole spread, and it's just a revolving door.
That's
So,
nice. Well, nothing gets a family together like food. Food and money.
well, I ain't got no money, but I got food.
There you go.
You ain't
There you
getting no
go.
money now.
A good
Money,
meal, though, is actually better than money, because money has a weird way of like bringing a family together and then tearing a family apart. You know what I mean? So the food,
oh
if
yeah.
given a choice, food is always preferred.
Oh well, yeah, girl, if you're in this area, stop by. Get a
Oh, there you
plate. I
go.
got
All
3
right
turkeys.
now.
I do a buffalo turkey, a Cajun turkey, a butter turkey. I do 2 hams, pineapple
Oh,
ham, regular ham.
all right
And I got
now.
so many. If you can't find something to eat at my house, you just don't know what you're eating.
So you just not hungry, huh?
You can't. If you come to my house and you can't find something to eat, something is wrong with you.
I
Because I
heard
try
that.
to cater to everybody. And I
There you go.
literally have like, and it makes me so heartfelt. That's why I don't understand the Kody thing. It's like, these are not even my children. These are neighborhood. Well, I say children, being 20 to 30.
Right,
But
right.
I'm
I
old.
got
So,
you.
okay.
Right.
You know, they can get up and walk. Come on in. Which is what it was like. You know, I mean, I love it. That's my big holiday. It's Thanksgiving.
There you go.
So,
Well, yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. But
like I said, but I did not mean to keep yip yapping, but I'm a Southern, so you know it's a Southern thing.
hey, Southern Belle, I got you. I got you. You know,
Girl, like you know, I'm the type that sits on the front porch, and if you're a stranger, you won't be for long because I'm gonna come talk to you.
we're gonna figure it out. There you go. There
Oh
you
yeah,
go.
we call it breaking it down.
That's what it is.
Like you know, we have a couple that are kind of like, mm. It was like, oh no, we got to break you down, honey. You're gonna talk to us, come hell or high water.
Right.
So
We're gonna know each
once we
other.
break them down, they're good because they got to know we come from the heart.
Right, there it is. There it is. But thank you so much for calling in.
Oh,
I
thank you for
appreciate
listening
you.
to me.
No worries. No worries.
I know I
You-
got off
hey,
topic a little bit, but
keep cooking. Keep cooking.
oh, I got a spice cake cooking now.
You didn't say nothing. You ain't
Oh,
said nothing.
one other thing though, I would
Sure.
love to pick your brain, and then I'll swear I'll shut up. Well, Lord, the thing with the with Kody and the booger's heck with Christine.
Mm-hmm.
I'm almost willing to bet though that Christine is going after not only the child support to protect Truly,
Mm-hmm.
but given that her social influence is rising higher and higher, I'm talking about Truly.
Mm-hmm.
It would not be beyond belief to think that within the next 2 years she would have her own channel, and the revenue that could bring in would need to be protected.
Right.
And as a primary guardian, she would be able to put that money, anything she would to earn from YouTube, Instagram, anything of those, that would have to go into a trust.
Right.
So, I mean, I don't know what the laws are, but I would assume that a primary caregiver would.
Yeah, if she has if they have joint custody, then Kody would have a say.
Exactly.
But if she has primary custody, then he doesn't have a say. Like that's a good point. That's a very good point. That she could be looking out to protect him. And I'll be honest with you, that's what when I heard that she was suing him for child support, that's the way I took it. That she was just looking out for him, because that's what child support is. It's for the child. So it doesn't, like, no matter how much money Christine is making, Kody should be contributing something towards Truly, because that's his daughter and that's his responsibility. And even if Christine I have enough money where I'm providing for Truly and she's getting everything she needs, she could take that money and put it in a trust. She could put it in in some kind of 554. She could put it in like some savings account for school or whatever the case may be, so that way Truly has that money later on in life, to get her started. So whatever she wants to do, you have money in the bank to where you can start your life the way you want to start your life. So if I say that, God bless her, more power to her. Hopefully she can get what she deserves. There's a possibility she might get that money back from the surgery with Isabel, because that's still, like, she still can do that.
Yeah, and if you think about the money for the surgery, that what, 40,000 plus?
Right. Yeah, at least.
But probably
be responsible for half.
Yeah, but if you think about the back surgery, it's right now 100% that where she's able to walk. But I do wonder long term what the inevitability of her having to go in and having to redo a surgery. It could be 20 years from now, but just because I've had a friend who had back surgery and they told her, like 20 years, you're gonna have to come in and you're gonna have to have this surgery redone.
Right. Gotta get
So, I mean, that might be something. And with Truly, I mean, like, if she was to be able to develop a platform, then any monies that she got monetized for could be put in a trust.
Right.
Whether she wants to go to college or no.
Yeah, I mean, if she goes to trade school and she wants to hang a shingle because she starts a HVAC company or a cosmetic business or whatever, you know what I mean? Whatever she wants to do, that money would be available for her to be able to start her life. If she wants to take that money and buy a house or put a down payment on a house, I mean, that's money that she would have available. So, there's no reason why she shouldn't get that money. That's just where I'm at. But thank you so much for calling in.
Well, thank you so much, sweetie. I hope you have a wonderful evening. Please be safe.
You as well. Stay out of them storms. You and me both are trying to avoid them as best I can.
Oh, yeah. I'm not going home Mississippi until after December because them late night tornadoes still pop up.
Right. Hey, I got time for that.
I'm gonna be like this.
I'll be out there. Yeah, no. I am good. Yeah, I hear you. Well, you have a
wonderful evening, sweetheart.
All right, thank you.
All right, you have a good night, sweetie.
All right, bye-bye. That's awesome. All right, we have another call. Or actually, let me just check one thing before we get too far afield. Okay, yeah, we're good. All right, so I'm going to go to Tanya Savage. Hello, how are you?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi.
How's everything going?
Trying to turn my camera on. That's not working.
Oh, you don't have to worry about it. It's okay.
Yeah. I don't know who said that you were hard on Kody and Robin, but I'm about to be tougher.
Oh.
I just wanted to say that I knew you was from the PA because you was talking about the terminal, the Amish. I'm from Philly.
Oh, okay.
So yeah.
Not that far from the Amish. You know what time it is. You know what it is. Out there in Lancaster.
Yeah, I grew up with them in the terminal and everything else. So with Kody, I don't know if everybody remembers that Gabriel, he was upset that Kody didn't mention his birthday. He just celebrated his birthday October 11th. I hope you called him, reached out. Only reason I remember this because my son is also October 11th.
Oh, okay.
And that really got to me because I know my son, and he don't open up until he's ready. And to see Gabriel like cry about his father, not reaching out to him, that was like real. And him just not even changing, not even attempting to change. It's like he gets no redemption from me. Kody gets no redemption from me.
Yeah, that was hard. I agree. That was a hard piece because you could see that it really affected him. And it wasn't even like Kody did call him on his birthday, like the
about
jacked up
COVID.
part.
He
He called him
COVID.
about selfish stuff. Hey man, I'm going through some stuff.
Yes.
Oh yeah, by the way, and then he said he called him back probably because Robin reminded him, or maybe
somebody reminded him. Yeah,
somebody called him. Might have been Janelle. Janelle might have called him and said, "Hey, you need to call your son because he's really hurt." I tried to call him back, but like that should have been and again, that should have been a time where things kind of got turned around for him. But he's so pressed about playing a pity party and doing the whole dance for that he lost focus.
Yeah.
Like somewhere down the line, Kody lost focus on anything other than what's right in front of him as far as Robin and her kids. It's sad. It's a sad situation,
See, with this family, I can relate to a lot because I've dealt with a narcissist. I was in a narcissist relationship. I'm not a licensed or nothing, medical therapist, anything. But if you want to portray a narcissist, he's doing it very well on the TV show. He's doing it very well.
Say he's done his research, right?
He did his research. If he's acting, then he needs an officer.
Right.
He's doing it very well.
He's studied up on the part. He's living it. He's doing the I forget that where he actually became the character.
Yeah.
He's becoming the character. Yeah, it's unfortunate because I mean, realistically, like because even with him being self-obsessed and concerned about himself, like as far as not even paying attention to the needs of his children, I hear a lot of times, especially as he was proclaiming a lot of the manosphere doctrine. One of the big things is like, oh, the men are in charge and they're suited to lead because they're the protectors and they're the providers. And so much emphasis a lot of times, especially when you listen to a lot of the manosphere folks on the internet, they talk about monetary provision and monetary protection. Like, I can protect you because I'm bigger and stronger than you, and I can provide for you because I have more money than you. But they don't recognize that there are other forms of provision as well, that are needed. Like, protect them emotionally. Provide for them emotionally, being there for them when they need you to be there. Those little forms of recognition that you might give them. It's not a big phone call to you, but it's a huge phone call to them. I was talking earlier about the importance of, when I was talking to Betty, the importance of him going over to Garrison's house and celebrating him getting a house. Yeah. Like, his house was pretty nice. He had like a little 3-bedroom house. But if he had a shack with a bathroom out back, you should go over there and celebrate. Man, this is nice. Oh, wow, you did this? Okay. Give him that boost because that's what he needs. And like, if you want to provide for your kids, it's not just about you going to work and bringing home a check. It's also you being there for them. Emotionally, when they go through tough times, because every kid needs a parent. That's the part of kids needing a parent. It's not just for the fun times when I'm graduating school or when I win the big football game, but you need your parents when you go through those hard times, those moments of loss. And it just seems like he's not there for any of those hard times. So, I mean, it's sad.
It's just that that's why what you saying about the manosphere, if Kody listened to him, that's why he's 1 out of 4 wives. He has 1 out of 4. Right. And he might lose the one. So right. he keep on.
Yeah. He's riding around on 3 blowouts and that last one's looking shaky,
Exactly.
Yeah, got you.
And I want the audience to know that I'm in therapy and like I've dealt with the narcissist. They're not going to change.
No.
They might. He has to want to change. He has to want help. He has to realize ain't nobody want to be around him. And maybe the problem is him and he's not at that point.
Right.
He is absolutely not at that point.
Right. Right. I mean, I think that's a fair call for most behavioral issues as well as mental conditions.
Yes.
And even with addictions. Like in order for you to deal with somebody who's, especially addictions, you deal with somebody who has addiction, they have to want the help. You can't want the help more than they want the help. Yeah. You can't want it more than they want it because it's too hard. And that's the problem is that even with therapy, seeking therapy, congratulations on that because that's very important. Recognizing you need help and then seeking that help is very important. It's huge. But if they don't, going through therapy and hearing the truth and then recognizing what's happening in your situation, through an honest, clear lens is very difficult. It's hard. That's why a lot of people choose not to do it because it's hard.
They don't want to hear it.
Right.
They don't hear that they're the problem.
Right. Exactly. Or what they could do to change and what they could do different. They don't want to hear none of that. So that's what makes it hard. And that's why you have to want it for yourself and somebody else can't want it for you because it's too hard for you to do if you don't want it for yourself. It's too much work for you to do based on somebody else's wishes and desires. So
no matter how long Robin can speak Kody and stand in the snow, I don't think she'd be the one to get to him, to be honest with you.
Right.
Like
right.
he has to want it. He has to recognize it. And him losing his children, which is the greatest gift he lost, like they're giving up on him. And as an audience member, I've given up on him too. I'm done. I'm with the kids. I'm done.
I'm going as far as I can go.
I've been done.
So if I'm the fifth wheel, that bad boy is blown out too. Like you down to your spare, bro. But thank you so much for calling in. I appreciate it. First time up, you knocked it out the park. Awesome job.
All right, bye. Have a good night.
All right, you too.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Let me just check one thing. That was a great job. I appreciate everybody calling in, everybody being cool, being respectful. We have one of the channel favorites, Brittany calling in. Hopefully you're ready to rock. Let's go, Brittany. What's happening?
Hello.
What's going on?
You know what? I was doing great the whole episode. I was, Gabe got me a little bit, but I was like, okay, this is a pretty chill episode.
Mm-hmm.
And then Robin was sitting on the floor of the bathroom, and I was just mad. I was like, girl, if you don't get up, get out the floor. Why are you sitting on the floor crying, woe is me? And why did we have to end on this? I was irritated.
You know what? I tell you, like, and here's what's jacked up.
Mm-hmm.
When I watch Robin performing like that, when I see her acting like that, it makes me concerned. Like I do get concerned for her. Like you, out of nowhere, you just sitting in a bathroom crying by yourself, sitting on the floor, like you are in trouble. Like you need to talk to somebody. Like somebody need to come in there. She needs some milk. Robin is in trouble.
And this is why none of the kids really want to talk to her, because I personally, from my standpoint, I am not a big displays of emotion type person, especially if I'm trying to come to you and have a conversation about something that you've done to me, and now all of a sudden I'm apologizing because you're crying. Why are you crying? Right. You're the one who did something wrong here. Right. And what I noticed about Robin is she, especially particularly in last week's episode, is she was talking about, like, oh, Kody, maybe you weren't the perfect husband, and but the other wives, they weren't perfect either. She never talks about what she has done wrong. Ever. She never takes responsibility or accountability for everything. It's for anything. It's like somehow life is just happening to her. And that to me, like there's nothing to aggravate. Maybe it's just the way my parents raised me, where it's like, okay, sometimes stuff happens to you, but a lot of time you have a role to play in situations. And I feel same with Kody, if they could just humble themselves and be like, okay, look, I hear where you're coming from. That wasn't my intention, but I understand that I still hurt you somehow. And I'm sorry. And if they just did that, the majority of the kids would probably still be talking to them, still have some sort of contact with them. But Kody, he made a comment last season about how he's like, I'm not going to act like a bunch of alcoholics and pretend like, nothing's wrong or whatever. But Kody and Robin want to do that with the other kids. They want to act like everything is all in the past. No, it's not in the past. You're going to have to sit here and listen to me be upset with you. Cody's going to have to listen to his kids be upset with him.
Right. Right. Well, because I mean, that's one of the weird things about that is that when you're having these kind of discussions, you're having these kind of arguments and things, it's insane to
Hmm.
think that you can just blow past it. Like there hits a point in every relationship. I always say that in
Hmm.
every relationship there's the red button or hot button issues, the red lines or however you want to term it, nuclear option portion of your relationship, a place that you go that's too far.
Right.
And for the kids, Kody and Robin went to a place that was too far for them.
Agreed.
And so this is something that when you hit that point,
Hmm.
we can't just, get back together and you won't come over on Tuesday. I hand you a beer
Right.
and, we clink glasses and we, everything is forgotten. You hit that
Hmm.
hot button issue for some people. We
Hmm.
have to address this because we can't get past it
Yes.
until we address what happened.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Because I have to be very clear. And this is even just what do you say? Good fences make for good neighbors. Like
Exactly.
being
Yes.
able to establish those boundaries. We have to establish that this is a boundary that you can never cross again. Because
Hmm.
if you do, we cannot have this relationship. And so
Right.
I think so I'm in complete agreement with what you're saying as far
Hmm.
as needing to have that conversation, because that's the conversation where you say, look, what you did, that's a boundary for me. That's a line too
Hmm.
far. And if you do that again, there is no more coming back. And that's
Right.
if you get to the point where you're willing to have that sometimes you're like, what the hell with it?
Don't worry about it.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm
Right. And
good.
some of
Yeah.
his kids are there. Some
Yeah.
of them are there. But other
Right.
kids who are willing are just like, look, you're going to have to apologize and sincerely apologize. And I feel like Gabe mentioned that Kody apologized and he wanted Gabe to apologize. I feel like Kody was just like, yeah, I'm sorry for if I offended you or something. Like he gave some sort of half behind apology. And that also is like, okay, well, that's not that doesn't count as an apology. You
Right.
just being like, oh, I'm sorry that your feelings got hurt. Who hurt my feelings?
Mhm.
That's the question. And then
Right.
also Kody was crying about the bias of his own experience when it came to COVID. And I'm so sick of this man talking about COVID. I really get. First of all, you're talking about the bias of your own experience when none of the kids that you're mad at are the ones who gave you COVID.
Mm.
That's first and foremost. First and foremost, we got to talk about that. Ain't none of them kids. Gabe didn't give you COVID. Garrison didn't give you COVID. Savannah, Gwen, Truly, none of them gave you COVID. The call is coming from inside the house on how you got
Right.
COVID. So you need to go talk to them kids. Secondly, this is going to be an unpopular opinion, and I know it's going to be unpopular.
Oh.
I
Burn the
do
boats.
feel like, I know, right? I'm not gonna be the channel fave no more. Dang. But I do feel like the way Gabe and Garrison handled COVID did warrant an apology because they were very cavalier about the whole thing. In my opinion, they were like a lot of kids their age who felt like, okay, well, I'm young. If I get sick, I'll be fine. It's okay. They didn't really take into consideration other people who might be impacted. And that is the gift of youth.
Right.
So
Right.
I can see where they came from. However, Kody needs to be honest that the reason why he's upset with them in regards to COVID is not because of their behavior during COVID, is because they were upset at Kody for how Kody handled COVID.
Right.
And they
Right.
were upset for how Robin handled COVID. And quite frankly, Kody is mostly upset because the kids said, Dad, we don't care about seeing you during COVID. We want to see our siblings. Let's find a way so we can see our siblings. There's no point in you going from house to house to house to house to house. I don't want to see you, Dad. And I mean, they did, but they really wanted to hang out with their siblings versus their dad, who, the way Janelle talked about it, was um the way Janelle was talking about how he is with Savannah. Savannah has to talk about what Kody likes. Kody has no interest in talking about what his kids like.
Right.
So it just doesn't, of course they're not going to be all gung-ho to hang out with Kody when Cody's just going to sit there on his phone and he's want to talk about wrestling and I want to talk about something that I drew.
Right.
I don't know how it happened, but in that sense, I can see them being like, I'm sorry, Dad, but you're not the priority of who I want to see. I want to see my siblings. So,
Well, in fairness, like I would say this, like with regard to Garrison and Gabe's response to it, like I do agree that when you're a young person, you
hmm
know, you're bulletproof. Like
yes.
nothing can affect you.
Hey, let me
But at the
clarify.
same time,
I
I
don't
would
agree with how they handled it. I want to say that I 100% do not agree with how they handle it.
right. No,
I can see why they handled it the way they did.
I can see that. But what
Yes.
I'm saying is that with regard to Kody, if you as a parent want them to do something to change their behavior,
hmm
it's not enough for you just to say, I decree on high that you shall no longer blah, 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 and
Right.
expect them to just automatically fall in line.
hmm
Because, well, I mean, it depends on how you raise your kids. I'll say it that way.
Yes.
If you raise your kids to where you can just make a decree and then they will automatically change the things that they're doing,
hmm
then you've raised some, I won't say weak kids, but you've raised some kids who are susceptible to be ordered around by anybody who comes in their life. You raise followers. If you raise kids who are a little more headstrong, which it
hmm
seems that Janelle's kids are, and so they
Yes.
are a little more bullheaded. So you
hmm
might have to have more than one
More
conversation with them.
conversation.
Yeah,
And that's what they asked for. They asked
right,
for it. They were like, Dad, if you had just explained this to us when we asked you, we would have sat our behinds in the house. Do I believe they truly would have sat their behinds in the house? Probably not, because they're stubborn and they're young. And I can understand why Kody was mad at them. Personally, watching the COVID seasons, I was frustrated with them too, because I sat my behind in the house for the whole quarantine. I
mm,
didn't go anywhere. I was just here in the house bored in the house bored, just completely in the house. And so, and it did frustrate me to see a lot of people going out. And I'm like, y'all are extending this whole thing because you won't just get somewhere and sit down. I I got it. And I could understand where Kody was frustrated. What I don't agree with Kody is Kody doesn't care. I don't really think that Kody truly believed that COVID was that bad. I think Robin believed that COVID was that bad, and he wanted to stay with Robin. And instead of being honest about it, he's running around acting like, "Oh my God, you're trying to kill everybody." And it's like, sir, you don't believe that. You
Right.
don't believe that in all of these hyperbole about, oh, you're gonna kill all the kids, all the little kids. That's not conducive to getting someone to want to do what you're wanting or needing them to do. The way Kody handled it was even worse, in my opinion.
Right. Right. Well, because I would say this though.
Mhm.
If you want your kids to follow a certain guideline,
Mhm.
then you have to hold that line yourself.
Yes.
And with Kody saying that, I want you guys all to stay separate and in the house,
Mhm.
the way I took it, and it sounds like this is the way Gabe and Garrison took it.
Mhm.
You're telling them that they have to stay in the house, but Kody was allowed to go between go to house to house to house, but everybody
Mhm.
had to stay separate. At
Mhm.
one point, Gabe and Garrison said, "Well, why don't we just all get together in one house?"
Yes.
Now, if they had came together in one house,
In one house.
then they would have had access to their siblings.
Mhm.
And at that point, if they're all under one roof,
Mhm.
if Cody so wanted them to, control or monitor their
Mhm.
actions or behaviors, he would have been in a better position to be able to do that.
Mhm.
But it sounded, and at least the way it came off to me, was that it was more important for them to stay separate. When he was talking about Christine and Janelle going off on vacation, they weren't going on vacation. They were going to go see their kids.
Yes.
So it wasn't that they were going off to like Hawaii or going, walking
Right.
around on the beach somewhere. They were going
Mhm.
to go see their kids. And so they would drive like in Christine's case, she would drive down to Utah or drive
Mhm.
up to Utah or over to Utah to see her
Mhm.
kids and hang out with them, McKelty, Aspen and her
Aspen.
husband.
Yeah.
And they would do those things, but they weren't
Mhm.
out in the street and they weren't exposing themselves in a crazy manner. So when Kody takes that position, it comes off, and it comes off very strongly, that he's more insulted that they didn't follow his instructions to the letter, more so than he was scared that they were going to come back and contaminate the family.
Right.
Because and I'll even cite another example of him not being afraid of contamination to the family. Because homeboy went to that wedding and was
They're
kicking
with
his
it
heels up heavy. So you can't tell me he was scared and so concerned about COVID
in
when you're
everybody's
at the
face.
wedding. Yeah, nobody had a mask on. They
Mm-mm.
weren't practicing social distancing. And this was during COVID. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So I
Exactly.
don't know.
And Cody's not going straight from one house to the other.
Right.
That's the thing. Like I guarantee you that Kody was out and about in between Robin's house and Janelle's house, in between Janelle's house and Christine's house, because he's not getting there until late at night. And
Mhm.
I just
Oh yeah.
Kody and Janelle have kids who Kody and Janelle's kids in particular are very much like, we're not stupid. I don't think any of his kids are stupid, but I feel like they're like, look, we see you. We're looking at you, and you're not
Mm,
practicing what you preach. And that to them is not fair.
right. That's
So,
fair. Fair play. Fair play.
yes,
All
that is my COVID argument.
right.
That's all I'll get into in regards to COVID is I just think that Kody, the way he handled it, he wasn't fully right, but he also wasn't fully wrong. But he won't take accountability for the part that he was wrong for.
Right.
But he
Right.
expects the kids to take all of the accountability for what he feels that they did wrong in this situation.
Right. Right. Well, because he also has a demand about because his demand is actually about Robin too.
Mm-hmm.
So he wants them to come back and, you know, worship Robin the same way he he wants the family to have the same feeling about Robin that he has.
Robin gonna have to take that L.
Which is also a form of control. You know what I mean? Like that's the weird part about the relationship with Kody and Robin is that it's not enough that the kids are kind to Robin or respect Robin. No, you have to like Robin the same way I like Robin.
Yes.
It's almost the immaturity of, if I like chocolate ice cream and you like strawberry, in order for you to be my friend, you have to forswear strawberry ice cream forever. And you have to love chocolate ice cream the way I love chocolate ice cream. Like
it's like
you got to have maturity with that.
Oh, if you like strawberry, so you hate chocolate? Wow,
yeah, right.
Wow, you like Christine? That must mean you hate Robin.
right.
Sir,
right.
That is not how any of that works. And then my last thing, and I'm gonna let you go because we have more people afterwards. But Kody, him feeling the need to protect Robin, who's not a victim, sweetie, by the way, just who, she wants everybody to know that she's not a victim, but she's also sitting in the bathroom crying. Girl, you need to pick a struggle and you need to stay on that struggle train. Whatever bus you are going to ride, you need to ride it. We're not going to have it. That Robin can't take care of herself thing is also really frustrating, in the sense that if I have an issue with someone and someone else keeps jumping in to take up for them, that's frustrating because I'm trying to have a conversation about my issue with them. Now I have to fight you because you like this person. What does that what does you liking this person have to do with this issue that I have with this person? That also frustrates me.
Yeah, it's crazy sauce. It's crazy sauce.
Yes. But that is it for me. I'm gonna let you keep doing your thing. I always love the lives. It's so much fun. And
thank you.
I pray that anyone in the chat and just in general who may have been affected by the hurricanes, that you guys are okay. You're getting what you need. You have someplace safe to stay. All the good juju vibes, sending them your way. Yes.
Awesome. I think Lizzie B had something for you too. Hold on a second. Lizzie B, $5 super chat. I agree and disagree with the same time, because they weren't living with Kody. They were they weren't living with Kody when that happened. They were adults. Both of them chose their battles.
Yes.
That's
agreed.
Fair play.
That is fair. Yes.
But thank you so much, Brittany. Appreciate
Thank you. Bye.
Have a great night. Awesomeness. Let me give Lizzie B a little something. Our moderator coming through. Give her a little something. Awesomeness. All right, folks. Next up, we got Raider Ma in the house. Raider Ma, what's going on?
Hey, how are you?
Doing very well. How are you?
Ready to talk to you about this.
All right.
If you cannot understand my accent, please let me know if I have to slow down.
No, you're fine.
Well, going to what Brittany was saying about like the COVID, I never understood, with the resources that they have, why couldn't they do a compound on their land or like nearby, where all of them were together, or at the very least the little kids, because they had to, everybody who needed to be homeschooled, it didn't matter where you got homeschooled. So why didn't all go to the McMansion and get homeschooled there, in quarantine together, so the little kids didn't forget their siblings?
That's an excellent question. And the weird part about it, and I'm just thinking about it from my aspect, and I think that maybe the parents might feel a little different, maybe feel a different kind of way because they weren't getting along at the time. But at the same time, how cool would it have been for the kids to be able to sit in the same area and do their classes or whatever, and then between classes or after classes, they'd be able to interact with each other, because that helps to alleviate some of the big thing about COVID, at least from what I remember, is that for a lot of people, it was the loneliness that got them. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like that separation, being like not feeling like you're part of a community. Like you guys, part of the beautiful thing, if you want to call it that, of being in a polygamous relationship as is portrayed by TLC as well as the polygamy propaganda program and the Brown family early on,
Exactly.
was the fact that you had this huge community of people that you could tap into. Like that's a huge resource where you guys could, something like COVID happened, you have a whole 20 people that you can hang around with, you can eat with, you can enjoy their company, and you don't feel like you're missing out as much because you have that resource. And,
And
and you know,
and I think that's actually what Robin is missing right now. I don't think she misses all the people per se. I think she misses the attention that they get together, when they go to a place.
mhm,
They're telling every time that they go, oh, I have, more wives and all of that. But I think what she misses is like that look of having all of those kids, because she essentially got like a ramen noodle kind of family. Open a packet, put it there, you have an instant huge family without having to work for it at all. She didn't raise the kids. Christine used to homeschool some of the kids. So why
mhm.
couldn't she help in something like that during COVID? Especially with a nanny that is supposed to be a teacher's aide.
Right, right. Yeah, so you have a bonus. Like you have a bonus there. So if the kids are struggling in school, you have a tutor, built-in tutor. So
What the nanny do?
right. Apparently not all the kids.
Hmm.
But it's just it just seems like a wasted opportunity. And I think that's one of the sad things with watching the Brown family experience kind of unfurl, is that it could, like, if everything was as they had portrayed it, there could be a wondrous thing. But the fact of the matter is, between the jealousies, the inconsistencies, like people's personalities coming out, it just makes it difficult. It makes it a hard thing to navigate. It's
I,
a
I,
it's
re-
a
I
hard thing to
remember
navigate.
rewatching them during the pandemic. We were essential personnel in my house, so the only thing, like you could watch whenever, and it felt safe. It felt like a safe show to watch.
Mhm.
But during the pandemic, I was actually looking for them because I wanted to see how that huge family was going. I'm from the Caribbean, and when there was a hurricane, all the cousins, uncles, aunts will go to my grandma's house and we'll bunker down there. Even that everybody had the same kind of houses, it was just about being together and doing like a mini party. We're just celebrating together,
Mhm.
even if it is a disaster. So I thought that they were gonna do that. I was very hopeful. I was like, oh, okay, this is gonna be the closest he's gonna get to all of those dreams that he has claimed to have. And it
Right.
was so sad that it actually got worse.
Right. Right. Well, I think that one thing Kody said early on, COVID really exposed us. And I think that actually was probably the most accurate description of the Brown family experience. That COVID exposed them. In fairness, though, there's a lot of families that broke up because of COVID. There's a lot of marriages
Yes.
that broke up because of COVID. You get you locked in a house with somebody, be like, you know what, I really don't like you, and the relationship's over. So it exposed a lot of people. But I think that you're right. Like with the approach that Robin brought to the Brown family, with separating not only physically but separating the family finances, dividing that and establishing estates, and a lot of division and fracture into the family. I think that carried on through COVID, and then COVID brought about the physical manifestation uh, of those leanings or things that they had kind of worked towards before. And then once COVID hit, it did kind of become an excuse for Kody to be able to officially separate from the family,
Hmm.
because he had already started to do that prior to COVID happening. Like COVID didn't drive the family apart because he was rarely going over to Janelle's house. He wasn't seeing Meri at all. but he had slowed down going to Janelle's house, and he had slowed down going to Christine's house. And then when COVID hit, he had a perfect excuse as to why he could just stay at Robin's house and bunker down there.
Then you have a great house that they could have used, because Meri's house was huge. So all the kids could have gone there, and have Meri help. She doesn't have any kids, laying around. Her. I also thought, I was thinking about it a few days ago, the fact that they were courting, she didn't stay with Meri. Like, if they were such a good pals, and that was the reason, and what's safer? I mean, you're courting, you're not supposed to be alone and having a long time. Let's get the kids integrated, let's help them. It would have been more cohesive. No, without money, let's get her a house.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And I never understood that.
Well, because one of the sad things that came out even with COVID was the fact that Meri's story was, to me, probably the saddest out of the COVID stories, because she was in the house alone and she was following all the COVID rules because in hopes that she could hang out with Robin and Kody.
She was very cruel to Meri. I just rewatched that episode where she wanted to do something with one of the kids, and Kody actually was in for it, and she just barked at him, and then he immediately retrieved. Since when is this submissive Kody? Like, today he said ripping the bandage because he was afraid of what Meri would do. What would Meri do? What have she done in 30 years?
He was afraid she was going to tell on him. That's what he was afraid of. He was afraid she was going to tell on him because he was playing a role. Like, I think when he said that, it sounded crazy and stupid at the same time. But I think that he was being accurate. Like, he was, for TV and for public persona, he was putting up a front. He was playing a role of this happy-go-lucky guy who has all these great relationships. But in reality, the only relationship he was really focused on was the one that he was enamored with, which was his relationship with Robin. And whether it's his fault or not, when he met Robin, he had a connection with her that he didn't necessarily have with the other ladies. And so
you remember I think it was last tell all or one of the confessionals. He was talking, let me see, what was that? It was something about getting back together with Meri. Oh, and that he said last season that he never strung her along, that she wouldn't just leave. She doesn't get the message. Today, he said that he did, and that it was Robin's fault. Because Robin kept saying about the feelings and stuff. And I was like, so did you strung her along or not?
Well, he'll find a way to blame somebody else. I think that's pretty much. I think that if once it gets locked in that he did something, that he just, it's almost the weirdness of him having a complete denial. I never did that. I would never do that. I don't know why you would accuse me of that. Like, we have you on tape doing it.
Last episode, he was like, what did I do? What was the thing to deserve this? Well, you told in today's episode they were recalling to Gabriel, you are not loyal like your mother.
Right.
What do you think that's going to do?
How do you think that's going to go over? Yeah, he also said he never talked crap about their mothers to the kids, which Gabriel just disproved that whole thing. So I don't,
But Maddie's the gossiping one.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know, you know what I mean? I don't know who to believe, Kody. When you say something, it's just you. But when other people on the other side say something, it's like Maddie, Gabe, Janelle, and they're all singing the same song. So I don't know.
Did you notice how they jumped when he picked up the baby on today's episode? And Robin immediately points it out, like, look, he's about to cry. He was trying so hard to muster one tear, for having like that feeling of grandparent. I have seen grandparents. I've seen my parents drop my kid. There's no need to force anything. They're a mess. And he was trying so hard, and she's like pointing out, like, look, he has feelings.
He's trying his best. He's trying to make it happen. Yeah, the worst thing you could do if you're trying to make that scene, like that cry scene, is to try to force it. Because if you try to force crying, it'll never come.
Well,
And I
before
think that's where he was.
before you kick me out, right? There you go. I have one conspiracy theory, and I couldn't
Uh-oh.
call last week because I was afraid of it, but it's still in my mind, so I wanted to get your take.
Okay.
That Robin is trying to get him to make up with the kids, of course, for the show, but also he's spending too much time with her kids, and she might be uncomfortable about it, especially the way that he seemed to have, kind of like touchy feeling with some of the kids. I was personally uncomfortable when I saw it. Like any family member of mine, even my husband, the father of my daughter, if he would have gone on like, come on, we're playing Jenga and Uno, and there wasn't any need for that, like at all. And Robin looked very uncomfortable. So I have the theory that maybe she's also helping out to get him out of the house because it's a lot. If your kids are all over the country, you're gonna fly. That's gonna be a few weeks that he's gonna be gone.
Right.
So get him out of the house, get him away from my kids.
It's interesting. It's interesting. I'll have to look back at that episode. Wow. Okay. Well, because I mean, that there is a reality, and that it's I guess you don't really. I don't really thought about it because you're as a step parent, you would look at it and say, these kids are your kids, and the kids are the kids, and it is what it is. But the truth of it is, if we're going to be rock honest, the older three are not his children, and they're these kids, quote unquote kids, are two young ladies now. They're not, you know what I mean? Like they're because they're women, really. Like they're young, but they're young women, but they're women. So
I think Robin has infantilized them so much, with the little dresses and the ribbons and stuff. But at the end of the day, they are women. It looks weird. The girl looked uncomfortable, to be quite honest. You have look at her face. You cannot push him with an elbow a little bit. So it's just not even a natural reaction from a biological father. And as erratic that he has been, as crazy as his behavior, I'm not saying that he will be capable of anything like that. But when people are maybe on steroids or have some other mental issues going on, they don't know how to make, those boundaries. They don't, they might cross the boundary.
Right. Well, I mean, I'll look at it. But, wow. I tell you what, it would be a terrible thing, because I'd heard that before, that there might have been something inappropriate with some of the kids, and I'd always kind of pushed it aside just because it is such a terrible thing to think about. And I don't want to put that on him, and more importantly, I don't want to put that on the kids unless it's actually true. But I will look at it. But yeah, I mean, if I pray it's not true, because that would be
and I mean, because
horrible.
it's kind of weird and touchy, and there was that episode that she got a panic attack, and then he had to carry it. I mean, I didn't see her get like motion like that, that she got stuck, but to each its own. She was just, Robin should have stepped up, like, this is my daughter, or even the bigger brother, like, hey, help me get your sister upstairs. But that motion, it was a little bit more intimate, that I would be comfortable with somebody going with my daughter.
Right.
Looks icky.
Yeah. I'll look at it, Rita. Mom, you ain't trying to cause some problems, Rita. I'm gonna tell the truth.
That's why, like, I thought about it all weekend. I was like, I need to talk to him about this. There's something else that I can talk to him about this.
I'll look at it, but I mean, like I said, it is that would be so far. That would be like, there's lines that Kody's crossed, and it made him look real bad.
Like
that
right
would
now,
be like the line of no return right there.
We know that Robin's favorite of the first three is Dayton, and apparently they're not getting along. So that would be a thing, like, let's say for Janelle, the same, because Robin does adore her kids. You know, it might be the kind of love that can kill you, but, you know, nevertheless, she does. So if she lost already one kid to him, the other one is growing up and that kid looks like it's going to be a handful. You know, you
Yeah.
have the girls that if they get married, you know, they could get married, and it's like, oh, now based on their religion and beliefs. So she'll be an empty nester.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
stay with Kody by herself without kids. You know, so the safest part, maybe she, you know, she should stay with him so she can help with the kids, but I don't think it's safe in the long run. Him using all those words, the intriguer, talking about safety. How can people not be safe? How can your kids not be safe with you? That was awful. Parents don't say that.
Right. Right.
Oh, I'm gonna be triggered. What can your child do to you that it will make you lose control?
They're not loyal. They're disrespectful, according to Kody. They don't have loyalty to him, you know, above all else.
Do you think that the fight was real?
Between Robin and Kody, no. I think that the because if you listen to the fight, and actually I neglected to do the video because I got busy, but one of the videos I was going to put out is if you listen to the argument that they were having, they never, like, she never accused him of anything. And by the end of the argument, she spent a lot of time making excuses. Like she never said that he was responsible for the kids not being around. She essentially came up with a clever way of saying that the moms were responsible for the kids not being around. So she's still taking responsibility off of Kody's shoulders and placing it on OG3 as to why he doesn't have a relationship with his kids. As opposed to say, like, she's telling him, you got to stay in there. And it's essentially what she was saying was, you have to stay in there and continue to try, even though you're working against these women who are sabotaging your relationship with your kids. You shouldn't give up.
My theory with the fight is I think that they were fighting before production got there and they walking into them with the fight. Kody might not have wanted to have another fight on TV because we know what he looks like when he gets angry. He didn't get that angry with her. So he might have drove off, and then production and Robin decided to, let's use this for that arc of redemption that they have going on. I mean, they have a square shovel on their driveway where they were standing having the argument. Who does that to have an argument to clear a patch of snow? And if you notice when she welcomes him by the car or something, when they start arguing right after the car, he's like, I don't know what I did or something like that. And his eyes are so open that it looked to me like when you're in high school and somebody lie and you're like, right, with your eyes so open, like, what's going on? And then they're like, like, we went over there. Okay, we're talking about that. Well, going over there. Oh, we're talking about the children and my abandonment. Yeah, got it. And then getting character,
Right.
And they continue with their fake argument.
No, I agree. It's fake. I don't necessarily buy it. I don't buy it.
Well, let me let you go before people hate me.
No worries. See, your accent was fine. Love it.
Thank you.
Thank you for calling in. Appreciate you, Rita Ma. Have a good night, all right?
You too, sir.
All right, have a good one. Bye. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have 2 callers left. If anybody, Roxy, if you want to call back in, you're more than welcome. Let me just make sure I got the right folks. Tammy and Rox, if you guys want to call back in, we got 2 callers, and then jump right on you. Let's see. So, we'll just make sure I have everything. Oh, is this Brittany Not Brittany, $1.99 super chat? He makes his kids seem like violent monsters. Yeah, he does. Like something gonna happen. I gotta be careful about bringing them over because I don't know what might happen. One of them might try to run up in my mouth. Like, it's not that bad. All you got to do is just have a conversation with them. The problem is that I guess the conversation might seem violent because it's going to hurt a lot if you actually have to listen to what their perspective is. That's probably why it's not, something that he wants to participate in. But thank you, Brittany, not Brittany. Awesome. Alex coming to the stage. Welcome, Alex. How you doing?
Hey, James, how are you?
Well, very well. Thank you for your patience. How's everything going?
Good. Oh, my word. And what a POS is Kody Brown?
Well, he's trying to get better every episode. He's trying to, break those barriers.
Insert eye roll. No, like your children are sitting here crying on national TV because you have hurt them so badly and you do not care. You are a POS.
No, I agree.
Straight up. Like, if my child is sitting on national TV crying, I have a responsibility.
Uh-oh.
Not the other way around.
Right. So you said that you have a responsibility to try to stay in touch with them. You froze a little bit. So you have a responsibility to make sure that you reach out to them as opposed to waiting for them to come back and crawl their way back to you.
Exactly. There was an episode in one season when I believe it was when him and Christine were fighting. Only one of the few times I've ever agreed with anything Robin said is you cannot run away from a problem with a wife.
Right.
You can't run away with problems with your children.
No, I agree.
The reason the relationships are defunct is because that's what Kody does. When the going gets rough, Kody runs.
Yeah, because he said that with his when he was sitting on the couch with his friends, and he was saying like one of the beautiful things about polygamy is if you have an argument with one wife, you just go over to the other wife's house, so you don't ever have to deal with it. And then by the time she figures out how to deal with the problem, you can come back and pick up where I guess she left off. The place of no problem. So,
and I have step grandchildren, okay? So his little whole excuse about, they're on the other coast, that's what they make video chat for. They make all kinds of things where you could connect with those grandbabies. The truth of the matter is you're too arrogant and narcissistic to want to do it.
Right. Well, because it's such a sad thing too, because like I said, this is one of those areas where if it was the 90s or early 2000s, you might be able to make that excuse. If it was the 50s or the 60s where you'd have to put pen to paper and write a letter, you might be able to make that excuse. But with today's technology, you don't have those same outlets of being able to say that because they don't live in the same state or they don't live down the street or in the same neighborhood as you, you're going to lose contact with your kids, because there are so many ways that you can reach out to them and have those relationships if you so desire. And the problem is he doesn't seem like he really wants to have those relationships, but he's ready to have the excuses as to why he doesn't.
And honestly, I honestly think he's going to burn his marriage to the ground with Robin through all of this.
Yeah, he's already coming in with 2 strikes. Like if this show goes and he loses his family, loses the polygamous family, he loses the access to the funds from the family, then he loses the show, and then on top of that, you're a miserable, son of a so-and-so, and you just walk around the house nasty all the time. What does she have to stay for? Like, what is she there for? So yeah, he's burning that bridge.
Exactly. I'm not gonna stay in a house where you're angry and mad and upset all the time. No, absolutely not. And Robin ain't gonna put up with that around her kids.
And she shouldn't. She should.
No. Is many things as I have against Robin. The one thing I can say that I think she to some degree, will not put up with certain things around her children.
Well, I think that was like a big driver for why she joined the family in the first place. Is that she said from the beginning that one of the things that made that family attractive was that it was a safe place for her kids. And then the opportunities that presented itself because the family was about to start a TV show. And the money and the things that came along with that show would be a great way for her to be able to provide for her kids. So, with all that in mind, like if she's doing all this for her kids, if you're creating an environment where you're detrimental to her kids, then you might have to go. So, there's a lot of reasons why I think the relationship might be in trouble.
Oh yeah. I think Kody is single-handedly destroying every relationship around him, and he's going to be the person who wakes up on his deathbed all alone going, what the hell did I do?
They'll be able to run the tape from TLC. What did I do? Not love their mothers?
Oh, nothing burns me up more than this guy, because he's like, I never said that. Yes, you did, dude. We got years and years of video footage of you saying it.
Right. Yeah, and it's weird too. Like, that's a weird lie to tell, because you're putting me in a situation where I watched you do something and now you're telling me that you didn't do it. You know what I mean?
Right. At least have some form of plausible deniability, but you ain't even got that.
Right. Help me help you.
Right, exactly. Like I don't get it for the life of me. I will never understand this so-called man. And I put that in quotations because you may be a man in age, but you're not a man in maturity level.
Well, it's not like burning down a bridge while you're still on it. Like, that's kind of where I see him at. Like, he's burning down bridges that you need. Like, you don't want Meri to go back and talk to the church people because you don't want to hear the bad things about you, but you want to get on TV every week and talk crap about it. Like, he ran her. Cody's been running Meri in the ground. Like, he's been running Christine pretty hard for the last few seasons, but he's been running Meri in the ground since about maybe season 5 or 6. He started running her down
sooner than that.
Right.
I mean, I would say maybe even season 2. Because even the episode where, he was out on the date with Meri, and she was like, well, what if I had other men? And he's like, I don't even want to think about that.
Yeah. That's when it came out that they were actually in trouble. That was season 1.
Okay, season 1. Yeah. So, I mean, I can only imagine what was going on behind closed doors when cameras weren't around with him and Meri.
Well, could you imagine? Because it didn't come out till later. But if you put yourself in Meri's situation, where you're with this guy and your relationship is struggling, and he's obviously found a new love and a new excitement in his new relationship, your relationship is struggling. He's not coming around to see you. You guys aren't really spending time together. And then while you're on the TV show, you're lovelorn for this man. You're on a TV show with him, and he says to you, looks you in the eye and says, what we need to do? We need to make another baby. Like, how crazy is that? And like, one of the things that she struggles with is infertility. And so it's something that you can't do, that you've been struggling to do with him. You can't do it. You feel like a failure because you want to do the one thing you want to do, you can't do. You're struggling in your relationship with him, and then he turns around and offers you this thing because you're on TV. Like, that is crazy. That's crazy. So, yeah. I mean, Meri's been going through it for a long time. Like, she's been putting up with a lot for a long time.
Yeah, I truly, honestly hope that Christine gets every drop of money that she's entitled to in child support for Truly and every other support that she's entitled to. And I hope to see this man bankrupted because honestly, he's treated people like crap, and it's about time that karma pays him a visit.
Yeah. Well, when karma comes, she usually bring a brick with her, so I don't know.
Yeah, usually, and it's right upside your head.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, usually it's rough. It's a rough piece, so I don't know.
Oh, Jane. All right, James. Well, I got to get running.
Thank you so much for calling in. Appreciate you.
Thank
You have a great
you.
night. All right.
You too.
Thanks. Awesomeness. Let me get some super chats, and I'm gonna go to Jenny Jet, and then we have Rise up in the house. So let me hit these real quick. Sorry, guys. Just my thing went down, and so we got Sarah M with the $2 super chat. Awesome callers. They have great perspectives, positions, and points. Well, she said points, but positions. And I'm going to give it up. Thank you so much, Sarah M. And you're 100% right. I'm going to give you a little something because I appreciate your super chat. But you are 100% right. The callers so far have had some excellent points. They've made some good positions. They've illuminated some stuff and brought some interesting conversations, which I've always enjoyed. So. Thank you so much, Sarah M. And then we have Raider Ma in the house. If Kody blanks his boys and cops are involved, he's screwed. Roll tape. If Kody gets in a little altercation with his boys and the popo get called, they just roll tape on him and homeboy's taking a ride. All right, Raider Ma, let me give you a little something. Great call, too. Nice talking to you earlier. Awesome. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Next up, we have Jenny Jet. Hey, Jenny, what's going on?
Hello?
Hey, what's happening?
Hi. Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, great. Sorry. Well,
No
hi. I'm so happy to be here with you. I like everyone. We love your channel. I'm from sorry, hello?
Yeah, I hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, let me move. My Wi-Fi is being funky right now. Hold on. Sorry. I'm freezing. Hello?
Yes. That's all right. We're used to the Kremlins here. They sometimes attack.
I'm calling from Southern California.
Okay.
Okay, so here we go. Put that down, please. So talking about Robin, with COVID, I know I'm over COVID as well, but one thing I've always wanted to point out was when you notice when they were talking about COVID and the rules, and when she didn't, she says that there were Kody's rules, right?
Right.
So when everyone else was saying, oh, like, I don't agree with this or whatever, having their 2 cents, she's just sitting there hitting her pen. Either she's reflecting like, I'm not going to see them because I'm listening to Kody and his rules because I live with him. Or if she's they're Kody's rules, why didn't she say, you see, Kody, I told you, these rules are not, they're hard to follow. So this is why I believe that she had something to do with it when she says that it wasn't her.
Right.
Instead of her saying, because if that would have been in a conversation, you see what I told you? They can't follow these rules.
Right.
These rules are hard to follow.
No, that's a good point.
Either she's just like, oh man, there goes my, right? Like my story. Like, he was supposed to be the one to be, I'm sorry, I have dogs. He was supposed to be the one to, right? He's on top, the the one in charge.
Right.
Him. But there goes my cover, there goes my blow. And, because I would have been one. I told you, dude. I told you they're not going to listen. These rules are pathetic. These rules are hard to follow. We have a big family. Let's be real.
Well, here's a little ditty. Do you remember that? I'm gonna have to dig through and find it. But there was like early on when they were talking about the COVID rules, Robin and Kody. I think he was sitting. She was sitting on his truck or something. He was working on the truck. He was sitting on the truck, and he had said something to the effect of, "Well, what about the COVID? COVID and this, that, and other." And she said, "Well, we have to be careful because Solomon got sick, or I don't want Solomon to get sick.
Yeah, the RSV.
Right. And so it was at that point, Kody started making a lot of fuss about like if something were to happen to the kids, and we got to think about the kids and this, that, and other. So I think that she directed them down the path of following the rules.
Yeah,
Part
for sure.
of the complication that he has is that you've created such a barrier between each one of the kids, between Solomon and Ari. You successfully isolated them away from the other members of the family, that when it came time for them to have some sympathy or compassion or consideration for Solomon and Ari the same way that Robin did, they don't necessarily have that same buy-in, because these kids are relative strangers to them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so they see that, so they have a limited view of saying that the rules are taking their dad away. And if Robin doesn't want to get on board, she doesn't have to come around, but we want to see our dad. And because they didn't properly integrate the family, then they don't necessarily see Robin not being around or Robin's kids being absent a loss to them. And I think that that's part of the bigger problem with the that's why COVID wasn't the thing that broke the family up. It was just the catalyst that, you know, exacerbated an already existing problem.
Yeah, like you agreed with Kody, and I agreed with it too when you said it, that COVID just, you know, it exposed us, or
right. Yeah,
but it did, because it gave Robin the RSV. It's a great excuse. I can manipulate. Let me tell you, I have a 2-year-old and a 5-year-old, and we're in wintertime in Southern California. I mean, like it's still hot during the day. We're in October, and at night it gets cool. And my firstborn, he's in kindergarten. He comes home with illnesses, RSV, and he already has a shot. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's very. I mean, it hits everyone different. I'm not saying that it's not something that you shouldn't be concerned about, but you can't use that as an excuse when as they age.
Right.
Just fully on, oh, you know, when he was little, he got sick with RSV. No, I understand that. But, you know, like, I totally get it. But I think it was just like an anchor. Like, look, this would happen. It could get worse. But it's not like if it happened 2 years before COVID. This happened. It was like some time in between. I'm not exactly sure, but well, yeah, that's what I really want to get out there. Like, if you just notice her behavior, you know, like, because I would be one. I told you, Kody, these are your rules, and I told you it's gonna backlash. No, it's just like her face is just, oh man, like, damn it, these women are strong.
Yeah, you're right, because especially it's so many of them. Like, that's one of the downsides that, like, everybody jokes about, like, oh, if I had a bunch of wives, they'd all get together. That would be the result of what you're talking about. Like, if Robin had been saying the whole time, like, this ain't gonna work, and then the other two wives, like, this isn't gonna work, that would have been like the worst scenario, like a nightmare scenario, where all three wives are like, this ain't gonna work, so we got to figure something, or all four wives, we got to figure something else out, and they all get together, and you're the only person standing there talking about some rules. Like, it could be a hard way to go. You know, but you're right, that because it is weird that she all of a sudden conforms to the idea that Kody is the leader of the absolute leader of the family, and none of them have a right to veto or call into question a decision that he made. But she used to do it all the time. Like, when stuff that you absolutely saw, just to go over what you said, there are times where he said he wanted to do something and she disagreed with it, and she put her foot down hard. You know, Robin did. So it wasn't like she was just sitting around chasing after Kody the whole time. So yeah, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying.
And then it goes back to what Janelle said in today's episode, that, I mean, not in her words, but just like to summarize it, like, she like has some, how the kids are saying, like, a tactic of, you know, waiting around for like a situation to happen that could benefit her ending up being the victim. Right? Like what Janelle said. I mean, why is it coming out now? Well, I know this is 2 years ago storyline, but why wasn't it going on before? Because she's new, they're, you know, getting together, trying, you know, and then it just over years, it's just like, oh gosh, like, yeah, this is what happens with her. Why isn't she not, you know, like being as a family? She parted her ways, and it could have been also because Kody was enabling that. So, you know, they're in the honeymoon phase, and then Robin is new because she's the only one that came from a separate marriage. So it's new regardless. It's
Right.
not came new into the picture without kids. Like, she had a whole new situation. They took care of her. They really did. They took care of her financially. You know what I mean? And then I don't know. It's just it's sad. And then to see what's going on now. Again, I know it's 2 years behind, but okay. The fight that the quote unquote fight that they had in their outside home, like in the cold. Okay, I'm gonna fight with you in my driveway in the cold. Hell no. Like, okay, but whatever, it happened. And if that was 2 years ago, you're still with a man. I would have been
Right.
like, hey, what are we doing here? We had this conversation 2 years ago. Like, nothing's progressing, nothing is changing out of your behavior. She's still there.
Right. Right.
In present day, this was 2 years ago, right? The storyline that they want to, I don't know when it was filmed, but still 2 years ago, and look what happened.
And you're still rolling with them. Well, I mean, that's compliant. So you're going along with it. So at this point, that's your boy. You got to ride with him.
Well, yeah, and then I mean, I'm a Sister Wives fan. I'm telling you, I'm. It's not like if I just like picked like it's just very it's sad. It's sad, and then who's using who? I mean, I could tell already, but it's very sad.
Yeah, it is. It is. It is. Sad situation. But,
Mm-hmm.
you know, there's ways that you can adjust your situation no matter how bad it is. Like, the fact that the kids are so upset tells me that he has an opportunity to fix the situation. It's when he has to be concerned that some of the kids are moving past the anger stage or phase of it, where they're not upset anymore. They're not looking for him anymore, and that's where he should start being concerned.
Yeah, and they're just accepting it for what it is, and good for them.
Mm-hmm.
They shouldn't be, you know, like sad. I'm saying that it's sad just from a viewer perspective. But overall, I'm glad that they're moving on. But Kody needs to, even if they're moving on, he still has to be there.
Mm-hmm.
He still needs to make them feel that if they're moving on, they still have their dad, as opposed to, I'm moving on, I'm struggling, but I know I don't have my dad. That's different.
Right.
To,
Right.
I am moving on, but you know what? At least he's there.
Right. Right. Good point.
I hope it we're seeing it. I mean, this happens in behind closed doors without people, families being on TV, but because there are, on TV, and they have viewers and fans, and I mean, it should be worked out. I mean, at this point, it's too late in the game. We've seen the struggles, so it should be worked out. There shouldn't be sides, right? There shouldn't be the OG3 and Robin and Kody.
Right. 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 Well, I mean, it requires a little maturity, but it also requires some acknowledgement as to what went wrong, who did what, and then just the acknowledgement of it, and then you can move on. But you can't just pretend like what happened didn't happen, and then everybody just get together and everything is all cool in the gang, because there's still hard feelings.
No, it's just to get it figured out.
Right, absolutely.
Get
it figured out. But it takes a little humility, and if Kody isn't willing to humble himself to recognize that his part or his role in the family dissolving, aside from him not loving their mothers enough, or being madly in love with their moms, then it's not going to work out. It's just not going to work out.
And he's dragging that storyline.
Yeah.
Dude, we are over. Okay, great. We're all moving on. Like, okay, that isn't a crime that you committed. Because I know people that they make kids and they weren't in love. Whatever, man. That's an old. Come on, man. Like, let it go. Like, he's holding on to that because that's all he has.
Right.
For him to say, oh, my kids hate me because I didn't love their mother. Yeah, that's a big factor of, damn, that's messed up. But it's more than that. And it's been years of other stuff than that. That's what you came up with. I don't know. It's deeper than that. Or maybe it is that. Who knows? But that's done with, man. Like, just now you gotta build that bridge. Because you messed it up. So fix it.
If it is a thing where you didn't love their mothers enough, or you weren't madly in love with their moms, it's kind of weird that you're so upset that they left.
Right?
You know, if you didn't care before, it's kind of weird that you're so upset that they're not there anymore. You know, it's just I'm just saying, like it's a little,
they're leaving me.
It's a little uncomfortable.
As a woman with kids, I'm only dealing with one man. It's already hard enough. Like, it's like,
right. One personality at a time. That's what I'm saying. It's one personality at a time. Hope you keep your hair, you know. But somebody gave me a super chat with you in it. So Sarah M $2 super chat. Jenny Jet is so smart. So she gives you a round of applause.
Thank you, James, for giving me I've been wanting to, but it's yeah, I have to find my times when I can squeeze this in, and it's my first time, so thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate you calling in. You have a great night, all right?
Thanks, you too.
Thank you.
You guys have a good night.
You too.
All right.
Bye-bye. Awesome, JD Chat. Let me give Sarah M a little something, and then I will get to Roz and Rebecca in a couple seconds. So I'm jumping around my screens. Let me give we had another one as well. Let me give Bill Albert $1.99 super chat says Kody is scared, tell all book and retroactive child support. So a lot of things going on for Mr. Brown popping off. So we gotta watch out, keep an eye out for it. Give a big shout out to BL. All right. Roz in the house. What's up, Roz? How you doing?
Hi. Okay. My issue is with Robin.
Okay.
Robin, let's go back. Robin has been manipulating this family since day one. I mean, she got a house out here. I mean, she wanted to start that business, and she got that when Janelle wanted to start that workout thing. Everything that Robin wanted, she got.
Right.
So now she's not getting what she wanted because now the OG3 is gone. They're all gone now. The money has went down to hardly nothing, and now Christine is getting ready to sue Kody for his money. She's not going to be able to shop. Now, do you notice with her, every time she speaks, she's always looking to the side, and she's always thinking about, let me think about what I'm going to say next. I mean, instead of her just speaking her mind and just letting it come out, she's always, I'm this, whatever, how she speaks is really weird. And then when she's trying to manipulate Kody, it's really calm. She talks to him like a little baby and to get what she needs. And at one point, he's going to blow up on her. And it's coming. It's coming. And when it comes, it's going to hit badly for her. I mean, she's going to find out what the OG3 really went through. Because there's nobody else for him to run. I mean, he had to drive around for how long to come back to talk to her? I mean, He got she got a few issues coming to her.
Right. Yeah. Well, because I'd say that too. Like, if a guy has to leave the house and he have to go off for hours and hours, it's problematic. Like there's some stuff going on. Like he leaving because he afraid he about to catch a case.
Right.
Like, so you make sure the camera crew is there when he show back up. 1, 2. If I leave, well, first of all, I don't leave my house. I might leave the room, but I'm not gonna leave the house.
Are you that mad? I mean, really? Are you that angry where you have to leave?
Right.
I mean, when you can't use your words.
Right.
I mean,
If it's that bad, it is a problem already. But
But
I've always said, like when I saw that, I said, if you leave and you come back and your wife is meeting you in the driveway, yeah, you don't live there no more. That's it. The locks have been changed. She just let you know so you don't make an assy or something, break your key off in a new lock. That's why
I don't have to call 911 on you.
Right.
But okay, and then also Robin's son. Isn't that weird? I mean, what's going on with that? Nobody sees him.
You talking about Dayton?
Yeah.
Yeah, he lives out in a trailer in the front.
I know.
Because he couldn't follow the COVID rules. So Kody put his ass out.
Wow.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
What do you think they're going to do about the house? Because I think he's going to lose it.
Yeah. I don't think it's if I had like a, what do you call it, a little crystal ball, this does not look good. The little 8 ball. The future does not look good. This does not look. I wouldn't be, because part of the problem that they have with the whole thing, like I was saying earlier, this is a litigation nightmare. Exactly. Because on one hand, you have Kody and Robin. They were able to secure the property. It's in their name. On the other hand, it's been reported by Meri and Janelle that they gave their money to Kody and Robin for their house. And according to them, it was an investment. And then Kody gets up and says, was it when he was arguing with Janelle, talking about not having the this is season 18. He met with her at the Bravo restaurant, talking about that's just a place to store my kids. It's an investment for the family. Then you have Robin saying, oh, that was supposed to be an investment.
Right.
For the family.
That's all they have to do is go back to that.
Right. This is the worst thing. If their attorney is probably pulling his hair out. Like, why the hell would you get on TV and say that? Exactly. And then you come in my office and demand that I get the house for you. Are you crazy? Like, it's so many problems. And then you have Christine. They were already, like, why is this kept? They were already more than a few incidences where they were late paying taxes, property taxes on those properties, the house as well as the land that's connected to the house right in front of the house, 2 acres in front. They were already late paying those taxes. The disrepair of the house, that indicates to me that they might not be able to afford to be in the house already. And then you have Christine come in and she's suing for child support. Back child support. She could hit him for Isabel's money. That's still up in the air. We haven't seen anything determinative as far as her asking for that money with Isabel and her surgery. Then you have right around the corner, Janelle and Meri coming in asking for their share of property. The best thing in my perspective, Kody, if you're listening to this, sign Coyote Pass over Meri and Janelle. Wipe your hands of it, and that'll give you a complete release on your house. Otherwise, you're already in so much trouble. I don't know what you're going to do as far as Christine is concerned. You need to pick the phone up and maybe talk to her, and hopefully
it's too late for that
kind of agreement. Yeah, it might be too late.
It's too late.
Damn try.
You know what? You know what gets me about Christine though? Christine waited 2 years because I work in the courts. Christine purposely waited 2 years. 2 years to make residency, I can't pronounce it right, in Utah.
Right.
When she had that permanency residency in Utah, it was over.
Right.
It was over. She knew exactly what she was doing. She didn't wait 2 years. Oh, I'm gonna sue him now. She purposely waited 2 years and said,
Right.
"This is where I'm living. You can't make me come back to deal with this case in Arizona. I'm in Utah." So
Right.
it's Christine plot. If he was semi nice to Christine would have never took him to court. Christine wanted to settle this out of court, but he brought it on. She's gonna end it.
Right.
Christine's going to be his worst nightmare. But I know it's getting late. They had to say that a little bit.
No, I appreciate you. And I 100% agree with you, because at the end of the day, one of the things that she had struggled with from the early onset was the fact of residency and claiming jurisdiction. That's
Yep.
what, for those who are uninitiated, that's what Roz is talking about. In order for her to claim get jurisdiction in Utah, she has to have residency in the state where she is. Otherwise, if he could make the claim that, well, she's from Arizona,
right,
truly lived in Arizona a good portion of her life, this is where she's from, so the case should be heard here.
Mhm.
In which case, Christine would have to get in her car and drive all the way back to Arizona in order to file paperwork and do motion practice or pleadings or attend court. So she did things. I mean, she talked to somebody. Like, remember when he was sitting there, if you talk to a lawyer, they're going to take all your money and the state's going to basically own the kids.
Exactly.
She apparently did not listen to that and went and spoke to an attorney, because she got some banger advice. I agree with you. I agree with your assessment. I 100% agree with your assessment.
His days in over there in Arizona is numbered. I don't know how well like you said, I don't know how well that's going to end for him. It's not going to end well. And he just needs to be quiet. Just shut up. Let's be quiet. And his kids, I'm sorry, he's not going to recover. Those kids are in their 20s.
Yeah, it's a hard thing. Their relationship is just going to be different. Like, he has to accept that fact. Your relationship is not going to look anything like it used to look. If you're able to get back, it's going to be completely different.
Oh, they'll never try. He'll never get back with Maddie.
No,
that's over. That game is done, finished. I mean, but I really do hope the kids don't take him back, because he hasn't changed. I thought every year I said, okay, he's going to change. He hasn't changed. He's getting worse.
This is the year. This is the year.
Worse.
Yeah, it's sad. It's sad to watch.
Well, I don't know, but I'll let you get to the next person.
All right, thank you so much for calling in. Appreciate you.
Have a nice one.
You too. Awesome. All right, next up we have Rebecca. Hey, Rebecca, how you doing?
Hey, James, how are you?
Doing great.
All righty. I'm sure, like everybody else, love this show. You are too funny.
Oh, thank you.
You crack me up every time. I look forward to your videos. But
thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, well, we have to talk about the fakeness that is Robin, right?
Oh,
I mean, every time I hear her cry and carry on, there's an angle, and it's always follow the cash for her, right? It's she's always just upset because the status quo is done. Why are these women leaving and taking their money with them? They were happy for all this time up till now, handed me their money and let me take their husband.
Mm-hmm.
So, right? Why? And so I don't believe, whenever she cries about anything, bawling on the bathroom floor, bawling outside of her house, I don't buy it. Come on. You don't care one whit about those kids. They're not your kids. Those are who you care about. Your kids, your house, your husband.
Do you say you weren't buying the tears? You weren't buying the dramatics in the bathroom?
Oh, no way. No way. It's like, okay, what's her angle? She's got an angle. There's something that she's thinking about. Whatever it is, it's like, okay, you're concerned with the money. You're concerned with the show. If everybody hates Kody, we're going to be off the show. They're going to give, I mean, they have to be under a rock to not be listening to what everybody says. Just like in those interviews that Christine and Janelle just did, and they asked them about having, oh, would you have your own show? We'd love to have our own show. Well, there you go. Bye, Kody and Robin. Bye-bye.
That's a
Bye.
good point. Because
Yeah.
That's killing them, because it's actually it's one thing for Christine and Janelle, because just to touch on that point for a second, it's one thing for Christine and Janelle to put out there in the universe, we should have our own show. We want our own show. It'd be great if we had our own show. It's another thing that you go on interviews with ET, People
Yeah.
Magazine, and these interviewers are asking you about it.
Yeah.
Because that's two things. One, that's that's the third party asking these two ladies about getting their own show.
Yeah.
That'll burn Kody and Robin up to no end. But that's also TLC putting out feelers to find out if there's an interest in these type of shows, because before they put any money into it, they want to make sure that there's an interest in that platform. So
Yeah.
they'll run out the question, and if the question starts to get a positive response and it's starting to pick up traction, then there's a stronger possibility that the two of them might get their own show that's separate from, even if they do a spinoff, they let them still do Sister Wives, so Kody and Robin will pull a check from there. But they could give them an additional spinoff where they
Yeah.
just have like the Christine and Janelle adventure show, and they're picking up 2 checks, whereas Robin and Kody are only getting the one, and maybe even the one of like the 2/5 of the check that they were getting before, because they're no longer getting the family fund checks where everybody's
Yeah.
dumping their money into the big bank account. So this is hurting.
Absolutely. Bye-bye Dabsark. It's gone.
Right.
He's not going to be making his $200 whatever an hour, and I need to have a nanny because I shouldn't have to watch my own kids. Whatever. I mean, come on, man. I mean, I would love to know what the weather's like on his planet.
Right.
Right? I mean, come on. What kind of
Living that
person
good life.
are you? I know it. They don't make any sense. I mean, they're perfect for each other. At least they don't have to bother anybody else. When you have two dumb people, just put them together and let them have fun.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
They're ridiculous. I do feel bad. I feel so bad for the kids because I mean, they're at the age now where in their 20s, in their 30s, whatever, as they grow up, you kind of recognize what kind of family you have. I mean, you notice how people are, and they're at that age where it's like, oh, dad's not, whatever. He's not fun and set up wrestling mats in the garage and whatever. He's kind of a jerk.
Right.
So, it stinks for them to have that kind of realization of, I hate my dad. I hate
Yeah.
the kind of person he is. That's very unfair for the kids. And then for him to not care about the grandkids, he doesn't care about anything. And from those interviews that Janelle and Christine did, obviously, what did he say last week? I need to be mad for a while longer, and then I need to get my relationship right with you, Robin. So I guess that's not done. I mean, that's going to take 2 or 3 more years, 10 more years, whatever, before he actually maybe even reaches out once or twice.
Right.
Very, very sad. They're not sitting by the phone waiting for it. So then, they're going to find other things in place of dad. So it's too bad.
Right. Well, I mean, in fairness, though, he's making declarative statements by saying that I'm only worried about Robin, and
Yeah.
my only focus is making sure that this relationship works. So he's not even in that conversation that he was supposedly having, the argument they were supposedly having about these kids. By the end of the argument, he's basically saying, I don't give a damn about those kids or those relationships. I only care about working this relationship out. So
Yeah.
if she was taking a position, and this is why I kind of say too that it was a fake argument, because if her whole position is, if I go to anybody who I'm dealing with, my wife or anybody else, and I say, look, this is my position, I think that you should ABC, and by the end of that conversation, the person acknowledges my ABC thing, and they say, "To hell with that," even though that's important to you, I'm only focusing on 1, 2, 3. Then I have to make decisions from that perspective. Like from that point, I have to make decisions because clearly you don't care what I'm saying, what's important to me. So that's why I don't think that was a real argument because nobody can get away with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it wasn't real because we saw a real argument last season between him and Janelle and the you're not listening and meh, 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 whatever his garbage there. He didn't say any of that. They had a disagreement and he didn't say, Robin, you're not listening.
Right.
Whatever. He didn't do that to her because he knew exactly what she was going to say.
Right, right.
You know, and let's talk about the tear. Everybody said, "Oh, well, she had a real tear." That's called method acting. Go out in the cold. It's freezing. I'm annoyed in general because my money's, cut by, it's cut almost in half.
Yeah,
I don't have as much.
60%. They took a
Yeah,
60%
I'm
loss.
losing. Yeah, I'm losing my cash. I might be losing my show because my husband's a jerk. I'd cry too if I was that shallow.
Right.
If I was wading pool deep, I'd bawl my eyes out too. I happen to not be that way, but hey.
Right, right. Well, I mean, even kind of touching on the one thing you mentioned earlier is the fact that Christine and Janelle were getting it. There were talks about them getting their own show.
Yeah.
And Robin being faced with the fact that she's not even going to be on the prime show anymore. There's a possibility that if they roll that show out, they're not going to put a lot of money in the production of Sister Wives if they're going to start a new show. So they're going to, you know what I mean? So you might be scared. You might be upset. You might start crying. You know what I mean? You need to work it out with these kids because you got to get these women back on board.
Well, and I think too, somebody had said it in one of the other, on one of the other YouTube videos, somebody had mentioned that this was 2 years ago. So that was at the start of some of these kids speaking out, like, like Gwen and whatever, these different ones. And Peyton had that interview with that other YouTuber, and he talked about kind of what Kody was saying about being brainwashed and polygamy wasn't good for my family. It's not good for a lot of families and whatever. So that was kind of what was being said. And so I can see him, saying Robin saying something to Kody about, we need to have this discussion and I'll put it to where I really care about the kids. I'll wink, wink. I'll make it sound like I'm really into you having a relationship with the kids, but basically you need to get your kids under control because they're going to ruin it for all of us.
Right, right.
So I think that's more along the lines of what it was. It has nothing to do with, she's the best mommy in the whole world. She's not. She cares about her kids.
Right, right. Well, it's just forging that relationship.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's, it's sad. It's sad. And so I hope that Christine gets her money, get out the checkbook, kids, because you're going to be paying for a long time.
Right, right.
And I heard something too, I don't know if it's true, but as far as that goes with Truly, that if her being the age of 14, she can make a decision of like where she goes.
Yes, yes.
And it's like so Christine's a smarty pants. Check her out. She's going to get him where it hurts the most in his wallet.
Right, right. Well, because at 14, technically, kids of minority, they don't get to decide themselves, but they do get a say. And so, in the courts, of course, will weigh their positions a lot more when they're 14, 15, 16 years old on where they want to go and who they want to spend their time with. Yeah. Because, the mantra of family court is best interest of the child. So as long as they can go in and articulate that they prefer to be with mom because of X, Y, that's who I grew up with. That's who I spent all my time with. That's who I rely on. It can become a very compelling case if Truly makes that position. It's going to hurt Kody because he has to sit there and listen to his daughter basically saying, I don't, reject him in court. And to be honest with you, this is where it gets kind of, this is where you have to make decisions as a parent of how much you're willing to put your kids through.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because do you want to put your kid in a position where they have to choose between you and them, especially if you can sit down and you can work it out? Like if if gloves are off and you guys have to do, you got to do what you got to do so you can see your kid, then it is what it is. But at the same time, if you have an opportunity where you can actually sit down, which he did have early on, and that's why I say this, a lot of this stuff is his fault. Because he had an opportunity where he could have sat down with Christine. They could have had a conversation. He could have figured out some kind of payment plan that he could be on where he's giving her something for child custody. Even if, like I said earlier, even if she just puts it in the bank. I got enough money. I can take care of her. Okay, fine. I want to start a bank account for her. I want to put money aside for her. So when she starts her life and she graduates high school or college or whatever, she has a little bit of scratch that she can tap into, a resource she can tap into. I just want to do that. I just want to have the ability to see my daughter. And Christine would have gave him that ability. So you're getting what you want, as opposed to you got to drag me through the court system. The court is going to make, you get that court man involved. The judge gets involved. Now he's involved with deciding how much you got to pay and when you can see your kid. And there's a possibility you have to have your daughter sit on a stand somewhere and say whether she wants to come and see you or not. Like, it's just a lot. So, given a choice.
And it would be so great. I know she won't do that because Christine seems to be a class act, but it would be so funny if she was to say that about, well, maybe David will want to adopt you, because they've already said that. Look at what a good dad he is to her, and doesn't let her have attitude and be a typical teenage girl. He makes her talk and communicate and whatever. So that would be hilarious.
Yeah, it would be cold-blooded.
I know she won't do that, but yeah, it would be funny. That would be, I would pay to watch that, because I mean, they've done that family dirty. Kody and Robin have done their family dirty, and it's terrible. It's terrible. I mean, Robin got to be exactly what she wanted. Kody got to marry Alice, and she married her own dad. Really, the irony of everything, that's really what happened. He got somebody who was conniving enough and had to scheme her way to the top and be top lady. And and then she has somebody who's a deadbeat.
Right.
So
he made it.
He enjoys how the process of getting children, but he doesn't care about the children.
Right.
That's it. He enjoys the act of making the kids, and that's where he gets off. After that, he doesn't care about anything else.
Right.
Because I mean, they're not tender, they're no fun, they have their own opinions. They don't worship the ground he walks on and kiss his horsey ring, so he doesn't care anymore. He's not that interested.
Well, and that the fact that kids, after a while, they start to develop their own minds, their own opinions, and they start to be people. And it's hard.
He doesn't like people.
Right. And it's hard to deal with people that you don't control. You can't absolutely just make all the decisions for these people. And these people are trying to make their own decisions for themselves. And, they, as with all people, they have to learn to make their own mistakes and their own decisions in their own time. So, I mean, to be honest with you, that's the hardest part of being a parent, is that your kids will make decisions and choices that you don't necessarily agree with. You recognize it's the wrong choice, but you have to let them make it. You have to step aside and be like, I'll just be around with you. I'll help you pick the pieces up.
Right. Yeah.
That's the hardest part. So
his love is very transactional for everybody. It probably is even to some extent for Robin, but then she's kind of a manipulator too. So it works, it works for both of them. But he's not unconditionally loving to anybody except himself. He thinks he's great.
Yeah. He did everything he needed to do. So I don't understand. That's why he doesn't see that he did anything wrong. I did everything I was supposed to do.
Exactly. Maybe I didn't go to my daughter's life-threatening surgery, and I threw my weight around and kicked my boys out. Yeah, I should have just kept my mouth shut because I don't go over there anyways.
Right.
So what's the difference,
Exactly.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, but he is something else. I mean, that's the one thing is, I don't know if I think probably Christine and Janelle's show could survive, but I mean, they are interesting to watch because they are two of the dumbest, most selfish people I've ever seen in my life. And so they are entertaining to watch. They're like it's like a car accident. You looky-loo as you drive by.
Right,
You
right.
know, that's them. They're just like that. So yeah, they are certainly entertaining week after week because you wonder how low can these people go? You
Well,
know, they're off.
apparently each week they break new barriers. So
I know it's yeah. They've dug under now. They really have.
yeah, because I thought they hit their limit in 17, but then you had 18, and I was amazed and astounded. And 19, I'm horrified. So I
Yeah.
don't know if this show keeps going.
I know it. Yeah, and I keep wondering too, when are one of the kids going to say that about how, as he talks so horribly about them and calls them these people and whatever, and they're jerks and I don't like them and whatever. When are they going to say that, Dad? This is a knife in the kidneys. When are they
Right.
going to say that? Because I mean, it's rude every week to be so snarky and nasty to about your kids, and then for it to play on a loop everywhere. These kids, even if they try to avoid it, they can't.
Right, right.
And then the same thing, for them to constantly hear, oh yeah, Christine ate nachos, she's gross, and I hate Mary's guts, and blah blah blah, whatever. Constantly there's something being said about their mothers, and that would be hurtful. That would be
Right.
hurtful to the person who took care of you, changed your diapers, whatever. That would be very hurtful. I mean, that would be to me if it was me. I'd be really
Right.
mad at my dad if my dad did that.
Right, right. And that's the whole thing too, especially when you don't have because if their relationships with their moms, they were really close with their mothers, and they weren't as close to Kody, even by Cody's account, he wasn't as close to the kids as they were to their mothers.
Yeah.
So you're insulting the person who's closest to them as a person who's not close to them at all. Like that's the craziest thing ever. Like, and then you're surprised that they don't have loyalty to you. Like, it's just, I don't know.
Yeah, that's why he had another nail in his coffin when he did that with Christine, because those kids were like, I mean, we all saw that. Gabe and Garrison were like, we want to be with Christine. We want to be where she is. And he acted like he was so surprised. Why are you surprised? She took care of those kids.
Right.
She homeschooled them, probably made them after school snack and, who knows, whatever, played with them and everything. Why are you surprised that they love her? That's what you wanted.
Right.
You wanted them all to love their mothers. And they're really not going to love the mother who yells at them for eating cereal and has a note on the fridge that says, "Don't touch my food."
Right, right.
They're really not going to be that interested in that mother.
Yeah,
So,
it's
yeah.
insane. It's insane.
They are. It's a sad state of affairs for that family. Absolutely.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it
It
is.
is. I do. I feel bad. I mean, it makes for good videos for you and for Sarah and for Amanda and all these other ones that I love to watch. But yeah, it's sad.
Right,
It's sad.
right. Well, if
Very-
anything, I think that there's a point too where you can look at it and say, thanks to their sacrifice, we'll say thanks to their service that they provide, they give an opportunity for us to be able to see these situations and learn from them and
Yeah.
recognize them when they happen in our lives so that we can hopefully sidestep some of the foils and traps that they find themselves in. And I
Yeah.
think that from that respect, it's a good thing, but it's hard to watch because you realize that there are real people and real relationships tied to a lot of these examples.
Yeah. And I think that's it jerked a knot in all of our tales collectively when we heard the tragedy about Garrison. That was horrible. And we all went, you know what? It's because of all of this, living in the fishbowl and being on TV and your dad being a jerk. And maybe, he really gets all excited about being on TV and shooting off his mouth. I think he does.
Right.
He's one of those kind of people. So maybe he gets 10 times worse being on TV. I mean, we heard Gwen say that before. She said that Robin had said something to her about save it for the cameras, Gwen, save it for the cameras.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah.
I heard that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Oh, you didn't hear that? Yeah, she had
Yeah.
said that, she used to have that YouTube channel, and I would watch that, and she talked about that. I think it was on there. She said that he had said something, or she had said something about whatever it was, save it for the cameras, Gwen, save it for the cameras. So yeah, they like to get on there and perform and act, act the fool, and they do it really well. I mean, they are stupid and they do foolish, mean things. So yeah, but they like to perform. And so, poor Garrison, how sad for him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very sad.
Yeah, that was rough. That was a rough
Yeah.
piece. But
So, it was so good to talk to you.
Thank you for calling in. I appreciate it.
Yes, I'll have to do it again sometime. We'll yak it up about next week too.
There you go. I'm sure it'll be just as crazy because next week he's going over Meri's house and throwing bombs at her because she had the audacity to have an official separation from him, an official release. So I know that's gonna be nuts.
He just wants everybody. That's the only reason he's mad is he wants everybody panting and clawing after him. He likes this harem of women to pant and claw after him and think he's just the most wonderful thing in the world. And I mean, now how dare Christine to be married a year to David? He's going to have nothing good to say about that when we get to whatever it is, season 20 some odd, when we finally get to see them being married for a year.
Right.
I hope we get to it soon. But we also all need to talk up TLC doing before I go, TLC needs to do like a pillow talk situation with the family and let us watch an after show talk back.
Yeah. They'll probably do it at the end of the season like they did last time.
I know, but
I think that was successful for them.
With 90 Day Fiance, we get, they did that with every single episode, and they were sometimes better than the actual 90 Day Fiance. Yeah. You enjoyed watching these ones talk about it. So they need to hire a couple of the kids, let McKelty do one, let Gwen and Bea do one, whatever. Let these kids do some of that and talk about, let Christine and Janelle be on one, whatever. And let's hear what they have to say. Even let stupid Kody and Robin be on one. Right.
Right.
I would totally watch that probably above the episode.
Yeah.
Because it would be entertaining to see. Let's see what you guys think of this.
Yeah, it will be nuts. But I will look for the look back, talk back. And I'm sure they're going to have some extra stuff at the end of the season too. So it'll be a lot. It'll be a lot. But
I can't wait for it. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
You have a good evening and
too.
take care of yourself.
All right. Have a good night.
Looking forward to tomorrow's live.
Yep. Should be a good time. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
All right, guys. The excellent calls. Excellent calls. Thanks everybody for keeping it super chill. We have a lot of fun. Up kind of late tonight, so I'm gonna have to let you guys go. But we do have some things popping off next week. We have tomorrow I have the live with Sarah from Reality Squad. That'll be at 7:00, and we'll be releasing videos all week because there's a lot of stuff that I wanted to touch on, especially like with Garrison, or not Garrison, but with Gabe and his approach. There's some things I noticed about Robin and Kody. So make sure you keep an eye out for those videos. If you guys are not yet subscribed to the channel, make sure you subscribe to the channel. It's easy to do. Just hit that subscribe button and ring the bell for notifications so that you'll be notified when I drop new videos. And it also helps if you hit the like buttons, because that way the YouTube verse will know that you like and dig the content, and they'll make sure that you get all my new videos. Lizzie B, I want to give a big shout out to her. That's the moderator that was holding down for me in the chat box. Appreciate you so much, Lizzie B. Let me give you guys all a little something to show my appreciation for everybody in the chat box, everybody who spent time watching me, spending time with the chat, spending time on the live. I appreciate you guys so much. So let me give you a little something. All right. And I want to thank everybody for hanging out, especially the callers. Guys called in, had great points. Thanks. It's awesome talking to you. That's my take. I'm James. This has been My Take on Reality, and I'm out.